Hi.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Unscripted Access, episode number 127. You're here with your host, Nick McCandless. We have a full cast, well, not the full website, but we have a pretty filled cast for this week's Unscripted Access. On this week's show, we have Anthony Ta.
Good evening.
Bremen Milan. Bronson Fiore.
I'm back.
And John Macaluso.
What's up, guys?
All right, so we're not going to talk about it too much because we have the raid. But Anthony, you made a pretty big upgrade to your gaming PC today.
Yes, I did, and it hasn't exploded, which is good. That's good. Whenever you build a system, if it doesn't explode in like 15 minutes, you're fine.
That's your standard.
That's
your standard if it doesn't blow the computer.
Yeah, so
Well,
Anthony's going to start his gaming PC line, and it's going to be like, our systems are very rigorously tested. And he uses a video, and it's like, it's on, turn on for 15 minutes. Okay, it didn't blow up. It's certified. Time to ship it to the customer.
Okay, here's the reason why I said
it didn't blow up while using Microsoft Word. It's good. It's good to go.
I said the exact same thing about John's computer when we built it. When we turned it on, I'm like, yay, it's not on fire yet. Because I always feel like building those computers is always a little precarious, because... Well, in John's case, it was actually a little easier. And here's the reason why I say that I'm glad my system didn't blow up. With the stuff that I had just put in it, the power supply could... I'm saying it literally is maybe about 10 or 20 watts from literally the absolute limit before you could potentially cause your whole computer to wreck if you overburden it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's why I'm happy that it hasn't blown up yet. Because I did some research, and I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. But no more. Absolutely
No
more.
980.
No. Well, depending on the power consumption of the 980, maybe, but if I'm putting in like another regular hard drive in there, no. But that's okay, because with the way this thing is set up, there's absolutely nothing left I can do to it whatsoever.
And that's why I put 1300 watts in my machine, so I don't ever have to worry about that shit.
This is why you give yourself headroom, because like, do you really want to live on the edge? I mean, it's really exciting in a... You know,
yep, headroom's called getting 1300 watts. That's headroom.
This is why you need headroom. Okay, yeah, it's kind of nice living on the edge, but you know, if you somehow screw up and you go over the edge, well, that computer's gonna die. Oh man. But anyways, yes, it's working. It's working well. I'm very pleased so far. So what did I do to it? I basically bought a gigantic cooler for the processor, so the brain of the computer. It is so big that its profile is really interesting because it actually goes over the RAM and cools the RAM, actually. And I bought myself a GeForce 970 from EVGA. And why did I buy 970, not 960? Because they give you a free backplate and a free copy of The Witcher 3. So why did they give a free backplate? Believe it or not, if you bought a 964GB version, they give you a backplate. It comes with one. For like $240 total, but the 970 does not come with a backplate. So that's why they were giving it out for free. So I'm like, sure, why not? So I got the video card yesterday, I got the thingy today, I installed it all. It was a huge pain. I showed Nick a picture of what it looks like, and
that thing is so freaking cramped, dude. That shit's ridiculous.
And this is why I told John, get a big case.
I'm glad.
See, and this is why I really appreciate that, is seeing Anthony's computer.
Yes,
Anthony's computer just looks off. I mean, it's like he's literally using like, you go to Best Buy and buy like a cheap $500 desktop or like $300 desktop. Like those cheap cases that HP makes, like that's what Anthony's using. But the difference is that he completely ripped everything out of it and put a pretty fucking good gaming PC inside of it.
Yeah, here's the thing. I am very, very proud that I got all of it to fit in there. I'm very proud of that. I'm just like, man, this is like some really... Yeah, I want to call it clever engineering, but it really isn't any engineering at all. It's just me doing Lego.
You're playing Tetris.
Yeah, it's literally a giant game of Tetris. Did you know? Here's an awesome design quirk. So you know those little tabs on the motherboard that hold your video card in place so it doesn't slip out of the slot?
Yes.
Because the CPU cooler is so huge, you actually have to use your finger and twist your hand at just the right angle so you can hit that tab barely. Because the cooler is so big and the video card's directly underneath it that you actually have to put your finger underneath the cooler in order to reach the tab to get your video card out now.
Next summer, when I build that machine, please everyone remind me to get a big-ass case.
Yes. Here's the thing. I'm very proud I got everything to fit into the small case, but I won't do it again. It is a headache. When you have that little space.
A good full-size case is only gonna be like $80.
Look at John's case. Like, I forgot how much John's case costed. It wasn't that expensive, but I'm just like, wow, you got room. And the system was.
And it helps. Nice. It helps with the temperature too, having a lot more airflow in there.
Yeah, like the temperature.
Yeah, you can put more fans in it. You can put more fans in it.
So speaking of noise, the system, slightly quieter now. At idle, pretty quiet. The video card fans actually turn themselves off when they're on a light load, which is absolutely amazing. I love that. And there's 2 fans on the video card, so it stays very cool even if I put a massive load on them.
Right,
CPU cooler, so big, also quiet. The only thing wrong is that the chassis fan likes to ramp up because my motherboard's being a stupid piece of crap that doesn't like to listen to instructions. So there's that.
I'm going to make this short because we're going to definitely talk about this in the raid. But yes. I just looked up cases, and for a good full big tower, like a big tower, it's $100.
You can get a good one. You can get a mid for like 50 or 60, and that will still do most of what you want.
Mine definitely was not $100, and mine is gigantic.
But but there you go. If you ever build a computer, 2 things: get a big case and make sure you have lots of electricity. You never know when you'll need it. And I didn't imagine that when I built this thing 4 years ago that I would make this that high end, but I did. It's like shoving a V8 into a family car. You can totally do it. It's possible. But damn, is it a pain in the ass to fix and work with if anything goes wrong with it. Man.
So you know what I'm starting to understand is when you were first beginning anything and you are working at the site with Nick and Bronson, always expect to get bigger and better eventually.
Well, there's going to be a problem here where this is going to be like keeping up with the Joneses with the exception of Nick, because there's no way I'm going to ever get close to Nick.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. I was like, I will stay number 1, and I will always stay number 1. The day that Bronson's like, hey, I'm getting a 980, I'm gonna be like, okay, time to add another 980.
The only way that I hang with Nick on continuing to upgrade this fucking computer is if I get that banking job ever. Like that's when I'm just like, I got money to fucking blow.
Man,
let's do this.
This one-upmanship is ridiculous. Like, well, first there's Nick and then there's everyone else. But it was like Bronson has the second most overall powerful gaming system on the staff, and then John got slightly.
Well, yeah, that was the funny thing. So beginning of this year, so up to when I built my machine, so up until like February, and I built it over Valentine's Day weekend. Up until about Valentine's Day, Bronson had the most powerful gaming PC on the staff. And
overall,
here we are, April 29th, and now he's
it's at 4.
He's 4.
Yeah, I mean here
because I built mine. John had his built like a week later, and then Anthony just upgraded his.
Yeah, like.
So Bronson has Bronson has the weakest PC for anyone that PC games.
Well, it is a laptop. That's the thing.
Very true.
He has the excuse of saying it's a laptop that's about 1.5 years old, but there's like. Bronson's at the top, and then Nick's computer bitch slaps everybody's. Then I built John's, which is slightly faster than Bronson's, I think. And then with a single graphics card upgrade, I'm now number 2. But now I noticed that if I am to remain number 2, I now have to throw away my entire computer and start over, because there is absolutely nothing left I can do to this thing without a fresh build.
What you could do is move it to a bigger case with a better power supply and throw another 970 in there.
Yes, but
there you go.
That's not going to come close to Nick still.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying that if you want to remain number 2.
This is gonna be a terrible game of one-upmanship that's gonna like bankrupt
Yeah, because
us.
next week I'm gonna have, probably by the time we're recording the next Unscripted Access, I'm gonna have 2 980s in my machine. So
oh man,
the 4K preparation is now in process. Progress.
After E3, I'm planning on adding an i7 to mine.
And then
from
we'll
there,
talk more about that probably later.
I've already
that
talked
thing's
to
a little...
like 6 people. It's all good.
I'm going to like I said, next summer is when it's happening. You know,
next summer I might be running 3 980s by then.
Fucking
damn
you should keep up with us.
And then the tentacles come out of the computer and just absorb Nick, and he becomes an android.
This is a dark path. Okay, this is what happens when you get into PC building. All of a sudden, you just want to build a better. You think you can build a better computer than your friends.
We're all turning into Theo.
This is all terrible. We're just gonna do nothing but
does my
building.
PC outdo Theo's?
It does because he's not.
Wise, yes.
He has a monster tower. I've seen it.
Yeah,
it's
his
ridiculous.
tower. Yeah,
what CPU and GPUs do you got?
I know he's only running a quad core i7, but I think he's running. What is he running now? I know what's in his backup computer. I don't know what's in his main computer. I'll ask him. I'll talk to him. I'll talk to him right now, actually.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, next week it'll all be running 2 980s SLI.
I know he's not running that, but he's probably going to upgrade soon now that he's working as a systems administrator again. So, yeah, because he worked with me over at AT&T, and then he went to go be a barista, where he made bank because he does coffee art.
Got it.
And then, like, he finally got a systems admin job where he's making, hella cash.
Got it. Cool. So we will continue this discussion on the raid. Guys.
PC.
Yes.
I will say that I am aiming for second place with my build next year. That's the goal.
Unless I get lots of money to outdo yours.
Yeah,
Anthony and I aren't gonna let it go without a fight, dude.
I will always remain number 1.
I need to be number 2 at something because it's not like the Bears are exactly stellar at the moment. Okay.
You guys got John Fox. He's good at putting a team back together.
I know, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's like, yes, I'm excited for John Fox, and hell yeah, the NFL draft is tomorrow.
He took 2 different teams to the Super Bowl. One of them he lost by a field goal to close the game. The next one he got just straight up raped.
Look,
hold on,
going to a Super Bowl and losing is actually better than not being there. Anyways,
so
I'd rather not be there.
We're aware of my roommate Ray / intern for the site. He is planning to build a PC next tax time for $2,000. So
we'll talk about that.
For $2,000 he can't outdo mine because mine's gonna be $3,000 once I put the second 980 in.
Can we talk this tomorrow? This is Unscripted Access. Okay, we've already burned almost 15. We've already burned up almost 15 minutes. Unless we want to rename this.
Yeah.
And just go down this dark
sorry
path.
guys, we meant to say this is the raid, not Unscripted Access.
Sorry guys, you've been duped.
Console games. Hey, the PlayStation Plus and Gold games for May are here. How about we talk about those?
Yes, so the PlayStation Plus games for May, on the PlayStation 4, you can expect to get Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition.
Guacamelee is
so good. Didn't they already have Guacamelee free on PlayStation
No,
Plus?
they have it on
Xbox.
Oh, okay, that's what. Okay. Also on PlayStation 4, Ether 1. It's a first-person puzzler.
Real quick on Guacamelee, I'm super excited to play through that game a 4th time.
I am very happy that I can actually play it.
That game is so good.
It's an amazing game, guys. It really is.
I absolutely love the music. In fact, like the dude that writes the music for that game, he's done like the really, really old Need for Speed games, and I'm a fan.
That game, like, it got 8th in our Game of the Year awards in 2013, and just like it's just so much fun. It is my favorite Super Metroid style game. Like, I like it more than Ori and the Blind Forest. I like it more than Super Metroid and Symphony of the Night and Shadow Complex. Like, I don't know what it is about that game, but I just love the living hell out of it.
It's the same reason you love me, for the Mexican flair.
Of course. and is it all... I just love all the little references, though. Like, you'll see luchador matches, and one of them was El Destructo versus La Bamba, which is Destructoid versus Giant Bomb. El Linko.
I love that they did the spotlight so it looked like the Triforce in the back. That was nice. That was nice.
Oh,
yeah, that was cool. My favorite thing about that game, I have to agree with Anthony though. The music is so good in that game.
The art's great too. The Chuzu statues.
Oh yeah, the Chuzu statues.
You can play with 2 people.
Yeah, that's cool.
Locally, well, at least I did, because at least on 60-minute Access I had a pretty good blast, because it would just be a broads going around just like, yeah, this is awesome.
I remember that. I remember in that game, another thing I like is how he just gets super pissed every time you break one of those statues to learn a new move. Anyway, the next one is Ether 1, which that's a new game. That's brand new.
Yeah, Ether 1. It's a first-person puzzler. So, also, Unfinished Swan for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and Vita.
If you like Journey, you will like that game. It's very much in that style of game. And it's actually on all 3 platforms. Like, I played it on PS3 and beat it again on Vita fairly recently.
You can beat it on the PS4.
Yeah, it's great.
Also coming to all 3 platforms, Race the Sun.
That looks cool. Like, it is a racing game where you try and get to the finish before sundown. And it's like in a spaceship. It's super interesting. It looks really neat.
Also for a lot of these games, all 3 platforms. Hofocom, coming to all 3.
Saw that at E3. It was really relaxing and neat. I wanted to do an interview with someone about it, but no, the person who made it at the Mega Indie booth wasn't there. So that
and then coming to PlayStation Vita is Murasaki Baby.
Yeah, that's a puzzler with like a Tim Burton art style. It looks interesting. I don't know. This isn't particularly a great month, unless.
Yeah, I'm very shocked. I mean, Sony needs to.
What are you talking about? It is a great month because Guacamelee is here.
I didn't finish. It's not a great month for me because I've either played the majority of these games or owned them already. But like, if you haven't played Guacamelee and the Unfinished Swan, hell yes, that is a great month.
They just need to. Sony needs to. I mean, the PlayStation 4 has been out long enough. They need to get these retail releases in there.
Hold on. Games with Gold this month is way worse than this.
Oh yeah, Games for Gold is atrocious. Let's go ahead and
pretty good.
Let's go ahead and start with that.
Well, hold on. I want to say the reason I think both of them aren't super huge this month is because I think next month, because of E3, they both have something big lined up.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I remember I always remember back in the PS3 when PlayStation Plus was still a new thing and Sony really had to try and convince people for it. They freaking had Uncharted 3, XCOM, and Saints Row 3 in the same month, like June 2011, 2012 or something like that.
Yeah, like I remember
that was
amazing.
To be honest, I think the main reason why we're not seeing, like, when PlayStation Plus first came out for PlayStation 3, the games they were coming out with were ridiculous. But the reason why is PlayStation Plus, there was the little features, but most people subscribe to PlayStation Plus to get those free games. But now on the PlayStation 4, you subscribe to play online.
Well,
they don't have the pressure to necessarily sell it on the fact that you get free games. It's more on the fact that, you have to pay to play online anyway. So let's go for these games that maybe don't cost us as much.
Like, I've been looking at, like, I have the complete list for the year for PlayStation Plus, right? And Xbox Games with Gold. And, like, January, Infamous was good. The Swapper was cool. DuckTales was neat.
But you gotta look at, like, the PS3 where they were, like, it was nuts, dude. Like,
they
come out with 2 games, and they were freaking games that only came out like a year ago, and they were fucking amazing games.
Yeah, but like even then, like the majority of the time though, it was like, here's Infamous 2, and it's 2 years old at this point. Well,
they put like Tomb Raider on there when it wasn't that old. They had BioShock Infinite. They've had plenty of games on there that are relatively.
Yeah, but, like, you look at February, Transistor's not even a year old. Rogue Legacy wasn't even 6 months old.
No, they do great on the indie titles. They do great. But they do a great job on there. I'm just talking about like your block. I mean, they came out with Injustice, and Injustice is still the only one. Like, yeah, they had that standalone expansion for Infamous, but other than that, Injustice is the only retail game to come out free on PlayStation Plus.
I think that's partly because these platforms are just started their second year on the market, and they're still building libraries. I've been wanting to play Forza recently for whatever reason. I've just been wanting to play racing games, and I was like, how much is a new copy of Forza 5? And it's like $40. I'm just like, shit.
Well, yeah, your Forza games never drop in value.
Yeah, but then I even look at other games like Killzone. Like, what's Killzone running for right now? That was a launch game, and it was a really good one. Like, that was a great launch game. I had a ton of fun with it. I pretty much played it.
They had like Heavenly Sword there too, didn't they?
That wasn't a launch title at all. Killzone, Shadowfall. Okay, if you buy that, like, Killzone Shadowfall on retail is $20. If you buy it download, it's $40. And then
I think Killzone would be a good one since it's been out since launch. Maybe even just freaking throw Knack up there. No one's gonna buy Knack. Like Killzone, I could still see a few people buying Killzone. No one's gonna fucking buy Knack.
Like the thing is, though,
throw Knack up there.
You don't want to put shitty games up there, and like
I wouldn't call Knack shitty,
or not shitty, but like you don't want to put like less than. If I was gonna phrase this I guess I'll phrase like less than what would get a 7 on most review sites. And like Knack, in my opinion, it's like a solid 6. It's inoffensive. It's not bad, but it's not like great or good. Like, and I generally look at these games and I'm like, okay, like, Games with Gold's done a little better job on the AAA front because like D4 was an indie game. It's a bigger indie game. Let's see, what else did Games with Gold have? Rayman Legends, okay, that's brand new release. And then last month it was Child of Light. But like even then, like even Games with Gold is doing indie releases, and like I said, like because we're in the industry, I feel as though like we play so many goddamn games, and we usually play them when they're new or new-ish, that stuff doesn't seem as new to us when it still is really new to a lot of people. Like I've definitely been noticing this with like Ray, for instance. Like he moved in this past month, and like a dude is like catching up on certain like PS3 launch titles and like is perfectly content.
If he hasn't played Heavenly Sword, dude, people, if you have not played
PS3, I mean PS4 launch titles, PS4 early games.
Well, still, anyone that has not played Heavenly Sword, find a way to play that. That game is fucking amazing. I'm still waiting for the fucking sequel to that game.
As long as we're talking about games that'll never happen, everyone who hasn't played 360 played Viva Pinata on the 360. That game is fucking awesome.
Is this going to lead into Silent Hills?
Yeah. Let's talk.
Let's
disappointing.
Let's wrap up the Games with Gold really quick. So, Games with Gold, listen to this shitstorm. So the Xbox One, you get Castle Storm Definitive Edition. You get Pool Nation FX.
Yay!
And on Xbox 360, you get Mafia 2.
That's actually good.
And then you get
Formula 1 2013.
Yeah, Formula 1 2013.
Well, okay, Mafia 2 is good, even though
Mafia
it's
2 is
really
super
old.
fucking old. That game is old as dirt.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's a great game, but man, it's old.
You could probably pick up that game at GameStop for like fucking $5 used.
Let's find out.
You could buy it new for like $10 or something at this point.
It's $10. It's $10 used, $20 new. So
okay, yeah, like the Best Buy bargain bin will have it because our local Best Buy still does, I think.
Like I'm. Like, my response to this is the fuck. Like, I would rather have a bunch of indie games that are really high quality than, like, one AAA title that's kind of or really old. Like, I don't know. That's just my view on it. Though, last month on PSN Plus, if you had a Vita, Killzone's pretty sweet.
Killzone's awesome.
That game's great on the Vita.
Yeah, like, it's a shame that I stopped riding the bus as soon as I got that.
Well, all right, let's go into the news that John alluded to. Silent Hill has been canceled. And it's funny, so if you look on eBay, people are actually selling PlayStation 4s on eBay with PT installed on it, and some of them are selling for over $1,000.
Wow.
That's crazy. Wow. That's ridiculous. Fuck that.
What's even more ridiculous is that.
So if you have a PlayStation 4 with PT and you don't give a fuck about PT, you might want to consider consider selling your PlayStation 4 and just buy another one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go tell my roommate about that. Anyway, go ahead.
Make some good cash there.
Man, oh man.
But they probably do it fab. It's probably something. It's just like when Flappy Bird was announced that they were pulling Flappy Bird from the App Store and people were selling their iPhones for like triple the price. Because you gotta understand that very tight niche group of people are gonna be willing to buy that. People buying it for like over $1,000, you'd probably need to sell it like starting ASAP. Otherwise, people are gonna realize eventually all those crazy people that are spending that ridiculous money on a fucking pretty much demo at that point are going to be done. They already bought it and there's not going to be a market for it anymore. So you better do it fast if you want to do it.
Wait, here's the thing. At least the case of Flappy Bird was dumber because in the App Store you might as well just find Flappy Bird's clone. There you go. Problem solved.
Yeah, because there wasn't a million fucking clones of that game.
Yeah. And not to mention, like, what was this end story? Like, I want to say it's the guy made up the story about how he had religious reasons of, stopping sales of that game or whatever.
No, pretty much what he said. It wasn't religious reasons. I think
it was harassment.
I think Nintendo probably told them to pull it down because they were using Nintendo assets, and then they probably came to some agreement privately, and then they re-released it. Because I don't care who the fuck you are, no one's gonna release a game and make fucking $50,000 a day and be like, I don't like attention. Let me pull it down. No, hell no. For making fucking $50,000 a day, there's no way.
Because I read a Forbes article that he says that his religion dictates that he can't make addicting games.
Oh, it might have been what I remember. That might have been what I remember.
Forbes article that said that. So I'm like, I never know the reason for why the guy did it. I don't know if it was a hoax. I feel like someone told me it was a hoax, but I don't know.
Yeah, it actually did get pulled down. So here's my thing. I think Nintendo contacted him. I don't remember the religious thing. That might be the case. I just remember him saying that he's like this loner who like lives by himself, doesn't communicate with like the outside world. And he didn't like the fact that he was getting like all this publicity and attention and like stuff like
threats,
that. So he decided to pull it. But here's the thing. I think it's one of two things. One, Nintendo said, yeah, that's our shit. Pull it down. And then they probably made some agreement. And then he re-released it. Or it was a marketing thing. Because here's the thing. So Flappy Bird becomes this big thing, right? And it's fucking spreading like wildfire. Well, as soon as Flappy Bird starts dying down, he announces that it's being pulled. Well, guess what? He's fucking all over the news again. Flappy Bird, Flappy Bird, Flappy Bird. And he announced that he was going to pull it down a certain day. So everyone who did not have the game felt like they needed to download it because, oh my god, Flappy Bird's going to be gone. Drove sales up through the fucking roof again. So he broke the news again. And then the day he decides to put it back on there, guess what? He's going to break the news again. So it could have been a complete marketing stunt because instead of breaking news once, he broke the news 3 times by doing that. So he could have ended up making more money even though he spent time, although there was time spent where that game was in the App Store. Because keep in mind that if you had to download it, you had it downloaded. So he was still making that money from people who already downloaded the app. But now you have all these people rushing to download it before he pulls it, and then when it's announced that it's going to be back on the App Store, well, he's all over the news again. And everyone that didn't have a chance to download it's going to download it. So it probably drove up downloads even more insanely through the roof. So,
kind of shows, that if you, I don't know, some people just like, I don't know what the obsession is, but then again, I don't understand the obsession with cat videos also either, and I don't understand how Korea. I don't understand how adorable. Supposedly
that's why.
I hate cats.
Supposedly there's this thing in South Korea where people just like to watch others binge eating. So I'm just like, I'm not gonna see.
The world's a weird
don't try
place.
to understand the human brain. Understand why the hell people like watching this stuff.
Also, Americans love watching people binge eat. Also, it's called Man versus Food.
That's true.
Yeah, like, you hear stuff like this, and you're just like, why do people have interest in this? I don't know either, but people do. It's crazy, stupid. It's like YouTube has shown that the human race has a weakness for watching kind of. I don't know what to even describe it now. Not saying it's bad.
Unlike Flappy Bird, Silent Hills will not be coming back from the grave.
I mean, at least in the case of PT, at least in the case of PT, there actually is significance to its collectability, which is it's like a part of gaming history now. If Silent Hills is canceled forever, it will become a part of gaming history. We'll just look back. We'll look at 2015 and said Silent Hills could have happened, but it never did.
Yeah, like it was.
And Silent Hill was actually good, a good game that had fans. So.
Yeah, plus, I mean, that's one of those franchises, man, like Resident Evil and stuff that are good. I mean, even my brother Theo was like, the trailer scared the shit out of him, he said. So.
Is it, like, really $1,000? I don't know. Like, there's this, what did Nintendo call it? It's like the NES tournament game thingy.
Oh,
those are very, very rare. And those have a lot of collectability value behind them.
I think the most disappointing part about this is that game looked really cool and like a lot of potential, and would be like the first good Silent Hill in arguably over a decade. Like, I liked the Wii one, but most people didn't. Like the last universally liked Silent Hill was the third one. And then there were a couple people like Shattered Memories and 4. And that was over 10 years ago. So, like, the fact that, Silent Hill, like, there's some hope for this, what's left, this husk of a franchise that once used to be great. Like, now, because of this split between Kojima and Konami, which is largely due to the fact, like, everyone's wondering, like, what the fuck is going on with Konami. It's because Konami has a lot of other business besides video games. Like, they do spas, they do hotels, they do, like, casinos, like, casino games. And that makes...
There's a Metal Gear slot machine?
There's a Contra slot machine. But...
That's going to take all of Bremen's pennies.
But
pennies, okay? There's a use for them right there.
Fuck pennies so bad.
Okay, well, pennies do have a use.
I don't know how you can physically do that, Bronson.
Anyway, Anthony, say what you're saying.
Pennies do have a point, or 1 point at least, which is... Get it, 1 point. But,
God damn it.
That was bad.
Just say what you want to say about this horrible currency.
You can use it to troll people if you're pissed off and need to pay them.
Pay
them in pennies. That's about the only use I could think of pennies.
Speaking of which, where do you work
for hating the penny?
I work for the devil. Why?
I'm sure he takes pennies.
I mean, yeah, the political call center will take any currency. But anyway, like I was saying, it's a real bummer that this isn't not coming out. And Konami has a bunch of other businesses, and those other businesses, even though they're Konami's digital entertainment division, which is what they call their video game business, is making a lot of money and it's making profit, it's not touching all their other businesses. And that's why they're downsizing it and, kind of just going to let it wither and die, other than
I'm sure we can see Kojima somewhere else working, he can get one really easy.
Like, I saw someone on my Twitter, I can't remember who it was, someone on my Twitter posted, there's a picture of Kojima with Naughty Dog, and it's like, dreams can happen. It's like, oh my fuck, could you imagine Kojima?
Could you imagine? Insane.
Here's the problem,
could you imagine?
I think Kojima needs to run his own studio and needs a blank check.
Yes, here's the thing. Here's
absolutely.
the thing. It's like, but what about Naughty
Kojima's
Dog?
the type of guy who doesn't like being told what to do. He likes running shit.
It's like
that's
but that's why his games become good, though.
That's part of his whole dispute with Konami, is like him and one of Konami's heads are, fighting a lot, apparently, and nearly came to a fist fight. I'll show you this whole video on this.
What's that one picture you showed again? It's like...
What, did you use karate?
like Jeremy Clarkson has an actual fist fight, and now Top Gear UK won't exist. Let's see, Kojima leaves Konami, so Metal Gear is not going to really happen under Kojima after Metal Gear 5 Phantom Pain happens.
But something else could come up from.
Yeah, like Metal Gear is, now at that point where, like, no one really is going to care about it after Metal Gear 5. Like, he's going to finish Metal Gear 5, and then from there,
I think they will still care. It obviously among fans is not going to be the same ever, but it's like, they'll make lots of money. It says Metal Gear on it, has a lot of marketing on it, and money.
But like the thing is though, is no other game I can think of is linked to a dude besides maybe Miyamoto the way Metal Gear is. And even Miyamoto games don't have on the goddamn box a Hideo Kojima game. Like that,
Kojima Productions.
Yeah, Kojima Productions. Like, maybe David Cage. Like, David Cage does.
I would have no doubt in my mind.
But David Cage just does it.
Except David Cage has established mediocrity with
Beyond
Two Souls.
Yeah, Heavy Rain was legit, but Beyond is not. No, I remember that, like, David Cage does it just because he really wants to make movies and for whatever reason can't get into that business. And then you have Kojima, who has actually earned it through making some of the best and most innovative and interesting games of all time. Like, if you go back and play any of the Metal Gear Solids, like any of them, they are still well-made, interesting games that are really ahead of their time, and that's...
Well, like, people who love freaking Splinter Cell, thank Metal Gear for that one.
Oh, yeah, like, for sure. The same thing with a lot of games. Like, I think that, like, Metal Gear in the future, like, Metal Gear Rising didn't sell super well, it did okay, and it was mainly because, well, Kojima did sort of work on this, like, he saw what they were doing, like, okay, we're gonna fix this, and, him and Platinum Games made a really good game. And I don't know if a new studio can do that. Like, I think the next studio to take over Metal Gear would have to be, like, a Platinum Games or like a really big name, because
the problem with the new studio is that no matter how good they make the game, even if it is perfect, it will always have the stigma of
kind of like the Batman games.
No. I mean, granted, what's realistically going to happen? We're going to have like a God of War Ascension or Gears of War Judgment type of Metal Gear quality game. Okay, that's kind of expected. But the studio's also going to get a lot of flack just because it doesn't say Kojima on it.
It's true. It's like getting a I can't think of the word, like an off-brand product almost.
Like,
well, I mean, you look at the Batman games, right? Like, what was the last one that made the Batman?
Origins. It was Origins. It wasn't as good.
Exactly.
Then you have...
That's a good running franchise too, right? Like they, and then now it's back to normal. Like the original guys that made it are working on the newest one, which looks fucking awesome.
But here's the thing, though. Like that's Rocksteady, and like they're back to be able to pick up the franchise for this last one. But for Kojima and Konami, it's not going to be the same thing. They're going to be like quality Metal Gear Solids are going to be gone, and like what's going to end up happening is, like you mentioned Arkham Origins, they still use the templates of like the last games to
just didn't
like
do
the
them
combat.
As well.
Yeah, exactly. And the same thing is gonna happen with Metal Gear Solid. And it's one thing if it's just one game, but they're gonna continue an entire franchise. So they're gonna have to pull like a gnarly 3-4-3 kind of thing here.
Yeah, and then like even 3-4-3, like their first game was awesome. It was really good. Halo 4 is a great game, but even then, like it wasn't. It didn't feel, play, or really do anything the same as the other Halos.
It just wasn't a Bungie Halo.
Yeah.
And like even now, even now they're like trying to do this gigantic, like really high top dollar Hollywood type of CG stuff going on to like bring the quality back, but that's the
we'll see. Like
CGI,
and Halo 5 looks great. Like Halo 5,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
like that beta was a ton of fun, and the game looks good and the story looks interesting. I have a news story about it going forward, but like that game, like it you could definitely tell the people who made Halo Reach and 3 and 2 and even 1 were not the dudes who made 4.
Yeah, like you can see the difference with all those games. Like with any game, that if somebody else takes over, it's the same shit. But then it's not. It just doesn't feel the same for some reason, right?
The reason Halo 5 feels a lot more like Halo than Halo 4 did, at least from what we have seen and what I played, is because in between Halos 4 and 5, 343 hired a shit ton of ex-Bungie guys, just tons of them. So that's why that is.
I always go back to this example. Mass Effect 2 and 3. The lead writer of Mass Effect 2, who was also the lead writer of the first game and various books, was not there for 3. And you could just, if you're a big fan of Mass Effect, you could just tell there was just something off. It just kind of felt like Mass Effect 3 was... It felt like a fan work where, yeah, you have these people who like know who tried their best to write a world like Mass Effect, but they don't know every single little detail that the guy who literally envisioned the whole thing knows. Like, the lead writer, he knows exactly how a Turian should behave, and we think, yeah, that's a Turian. But then when you look at Mass Effect 3, you're like, yeah, it's a Turian, but there's something a little off.
Yeah, and the Batman games, right? I mean, everybody can agree on that. There's a lot of things.
What has kind of been intriguing me in all of these games coming in the future, and maybe when Konami decides to continue the franchise of Metal Gear Solid, they could take a shot at this. But with Batman and Halo specifically, is they've pointed out a villain, and they've made them both high profile, and they've made them both mysterious. So like, you have the Arkham Knight, and then Bronson, kind of going off what you were saying, the trailers and stuff like that, or it feels more like Halo. I think the thing that piques my interest more when it comes to Halo 5 is what the hell is going on with Agent Locke and the Master Chief. I mean,
all that we know is Chief went rogue for some reason, and from the recent cover art they unveiled, that he's working with Blue Team, which, if you follow the Halo lore, that's a team of Spartans he worked with back in the day. Like that, and that's it. And then there's Spartan Locke, who's hunting him so the UNSC shit doesn't get out.
Yeah, with a team of his own. So I mean, like that stuff is badass. So Konami, do that.
Yeah, and they killed off the Didact. If you didn't think he was dead at the end of the last game, he's most definitely dead because of the comics. Like all the, like the way Halo 5 is setting itself up, it actually made me want to get back into the Halo lore. And recently I've been like reading that stuff because I've been like really interested in like, who is Spartan Locke? Who is all this stuff? And I'm actually kind of caught up. It's super cool. Versus like Halo 4, I just didn't care because they involved they made the Forerunners a far bigger thing than they needed to. It's like how in the Star Wars prequels they explained the Force with midichlorians and you were super pissed off. Like it's very similar to that. It's like they explained the Forerunners and it's like, damn it. No. Yeah, I hope that I hope the best for Kojima and Konami, and looking forward, I'm not sure if Silent Hills will ever be back because like that Konami's Silent Hill isn't really a big property for Konami anymore. Like their three big ones, their biggest one is Pro Evolution Soccer, followed by Metal Gear, and then their dancing and DJ series. And they've rolled all their dancing and audio engineers into one giant studio. So the casino people are with the regular game people. So that's probably gonna go the way of the dodo soon. Soccer will probably stay around just because it's so profitable. And then Metal Gear, it's kind of up in the air at this point. Like they'll probably do it. They'll probably do another Metal Gear. They make a lot of money. No Metal Gear has made as much money as Metal Gear 2, though. So, like we're gonna get another Metal Gear. It'll probably be huge, but I just don't think that they're. I think that Metal Gear is going to be over if the one after 5, whatever it is, be it Rising 2 or Metal Gear 6, doesn't really wow people. So.
No, I guess that covers that. But Silent Hill is bummer, man. I'm actually pretty bummed about that.
Yeah, I really liked Silent Hill 2 and 3, and I was kind of hoping for a similar game of that style. Oh well.
Well, the indie place is probably going to attempt to make one, right?
I would love to see Kojima heading an indie studio.
Well, no, I'm not talking about Kojima and indie studio, but considering Silent Hills is canceled, I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be an indie game in the near future that's going to be heavily inspired by Silent Hill will be made in response to this.
Well, the indie market already does horror way better than the AAA market.
Yes,
like way better. Like you look at Amnesia and Lone Survivor.
Amnesia was fucking crazy, dude.
And Slender Man and fucking like.
What was that other game? It's on the
Five Nights at Freddy's.
No,
oh yeah,
it's on the PlayStation 4. It's scary as shit.
Are you talking about Condemned?
No, it was a free PlayStation Plus game.
Outlast. That's it. Fuck that game, dude.
That game's fucking horror. Like I remember
that game turned me into a huge bitch.
That game, I remember like streaming it for Extra Life with Tori and Stephanie, and it jump scared Tori and Stephanie so much that like it got too loud, and we had to switch to a different game because we were waking up like neighbors and other people in the house. So it's just like, okay, well, time to switch over to Metal Gear. Time to watch our child have a bomb removed from her stomach, because that's happy imagery.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, oh.
Well, to one of us here, it's happy imagery. Cough, cough, Anthony.
What? Sorry, did you say something?
Meow, 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 meow.
We're not going to forget about that one anytime soon, Anthony.
Yeah, that's just great, right? I watch Mortal Kombat Fatalities, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a little too gory. Cue the name cat, and I'm like, shit.
It was, yeah. No, I remember, like, I actually just watched through all the Fatalities last night. The best one is the selfie one. That is the best one.
It's up there, yeah. I'm quite partial to Goro's.
Oh,
when
which
he
is
jumps on you and rips off your limbs.
Oh, that one's good. I really like the one Liu Kang does, where his like feet light on fire and he like breaks you in half.
Oh yeah, that one is sick too.
Some of them are just disgusting, like
disgustingly awesome.
No, some of them I was like, that's a bit like most of them I'm okay with, but like the puppet one, like do you guys? I don't know who does it.
Kenshi?
Yeah, like that one, like Ray and I saw that one. We were like, nope, we're not, nope.
The one that got me was the one, I can't remember whose fatality it is, but it's like you post this body, like the body gets posted onto like with like these freaking like blades, and then the body just splits in half as the lower body drags. I'm trying to remember whose that is though.
That sounds like Ferrator's.
It might have been, but yeah, oh my god, dude, the fatalities are freaking insane in that game.
There's only one character in that game.
You can tell this game definitely did not release in Australia.
Yeah, there's only one fatality that really bothers me in Mortal Kombat 10, and that is Melina's, because she eats like the person's corpse in one way or another. There's one where she like decapitates the guy or the character and then just eats his or her face. Like that's too much for me, man. Yeah.
The ones for me that got me were the one where I think it was Quan Chi, where he like pulls your organs out through your mouth.
Oh, like, that's Ermac.
Yeah, the Ermac. Oh my god, that one was just like, I'm so done with this game. And There was that
like,
one.
what sick fucks come up with this shit?
Bronson said it best. It's like, did they go to like some insane prison asylum?
They went to
like, so if you wanted to kill somebody, how would you do it? Oh,
like,
I wanted to like tear their intestines out from the inside, and this.
That's probably how they. That's probably how they did it.
Yeah,
they went to a mental institution.
Like, they went to a prison asylum and said, "Okay, we gave you Jedi powers. How do you murder someone?" That's how it happened.
That's like the only logical explanation, because I would really want to say there's really no logical explanation how a bunch of sane developers could just imagine that stuff. And if the artist did imagine that stuff, then I would be like, so where'd you get your artist? Or idea guy?
The other one that gets me is that puppet one, man. Like the puppet one and the Ermac one, I was just like, I'm done with this.
So wait a second. The puppet one you're talking about when Kenshi levitates you by like your back, your spine,
your tendons.
and ribcage?
Yeah, your ribcage, your tendons, like,
and then just cuts you off.
Yeah, I was just
really disappointed by that one, especially after his other one.
His other one is fucked up. That one, like, he slices you up like a holiday ham.
Dude, that's my favorite. That's my favorite one. When I whoop Nick's ass eventually, that's the one I'm gonna use.
I really enjoy the selfie one.
No, here's the thing though. Like he probably will whip my ass. I suck at fighting games. I suck at them. I just press buttons and make shit happen. Like I completely suck at fighting games. I will be the first one to tell you that. I bet everyone on the staff could whoop my ass in a fighting game.
Actually, traditional fighters, I'm not that good.
We gotta see that match, dude. We gotta get Nick and Anthony on it.
We should, yeah.
Like, I can be good-ish on Smash Brothers compared to most of the staff, but traditional fighting games, I'm screwed.
Dude, dive kick.
Fuck that game, dude.
Yeah. Are you guys still like just mad that Ray destroys everyone at that game?
No,
Bronson,
it's just a dumb game.
I don't know if you noticed, but I don't take losing very, very happily. I'm not a happy loser.
Well, that's a lot of people, John.
But John's like really upset. Like,
well, I guess I shouldn't talk to John on October 12th then when the Steelers beat the Chargers. I better stay clear.
Oh boy, here we go.
Fucking goddamn it!
I know he won't be on Unscripted that week.
For the sake of this not being a football podcast, I am just going to take it right now.
You guys should come on the Gamecast in our random bullshit section.
Yeah, but then the whole podcast would then be Steelers versus Chargers.
Hey man, we put it at the back end for a reason typically. Just like the first bit is like what we've been up to, then games, and then random bullshit. Anyway,
so what? Nick and I are just gonna purely talk crap for like an hour and a half, which I feel like is actually totally possible.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know who
because you had the nerve to say that your guys' primary receiver is better than Antonio Brown, and I was just like, you've gone crazy.
Well, yeah, our primary towel boy is also better than your primary receiver.
Oh man.
Well, okay, that's right. That's okay. It's Antonio Brown. I mean, top wide receiver last year and freaking pro. I mean, get the fuck out of here. No comparison. No fucking. This is fucking ridiculous. Fucking crazy.
You know the best part, Nick, is I wonder. Do you wonder whether or not I'm serious or whether or not I'm like just kidding?
Well, I certainly hope you were kidding because you'd have to be an idiot to say that.
I don't really mind being an idiot, Nick. Just keep that in mind.
I'm saying that looking at the Chargers and Steelers as an outsider of these both teams, they're pretty even.
Yeah, the one thing the Steelers, offense, Steelers have a better offense. It's very clear their offense is a lot better. Defense, Chargers have the better defense, but Chargers defense isn't that good because Steelers defense is just straight up shitty. So it's probably going to be a high scoring game. So
let's hopefully. I'm trying to go to that game as well, so let's hope it's.
Dude, if you fucking go, let me know, dude.
Yeah, I will.
If I had the money, I would say, John, you and I should go to one of Denver's Charger games. go to the San Diego when the Broncos play the Chargers in San Diego.
That was actually my first choice until I found out about
the Steelers.
Them playing the Steelers, on Monday night. So.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, all right. Well, don't worry.
I really don't care. Like, I don't go to any football games. I've never been to an NFL game before, and I highly doubt I'm gonna be at any Bears game soon. So, hey,
that's what
I don't mind just randomly going to a football game.
Yeah, that's why, like, as a Steelers fan living on the West Coast, it completely fucking sucks, dude, because, like, they're, like, never over here. So when I saw they were playing the Chargers, I was like, oh, yes, fuck yes. I was like, well, let me not get too excited because they're going to play that shit in Pittsburgh. Watch. And they announced it was in San Diego. I was like, fuck yes. I'm fucking going. I'm getting tickets to that fucking game.
Denver isn't that far away for me, so that's not that bad.
San Diego, from where I live now, San Diego is only an hour and a half away from me.
That's a lot better than me where it's like, but still, like, Denver's not that far away.
I can drive to San Diego, go to the game, and drive back.
And then we see Oakland in Oakland once, and San Diego in San Diego once. So, if I wanted to, I have a pretty good shot of going to watch the Broncos whenever. Oh.
Yeah, my girlfriend's dad is a huge freaking Chargers fan. So I think we're going to make plans to go. But yeah, John, if you're able to come too, dude, let me know. Because if we can align it to where we can get tickets together, that'd be fucking sweet.
See, I just want to be there to just listen to you two trash talk at each other all day.
Oh, God, dude. Oh, man.
I'm going to be all like... Just
being honest here, both John and us are at the game. At the end of the game, one of us is going to be completely in the fucking dumps. Like, one of us is just gonna be completely, like, fucking, like, straight up suicide status after that game. Although, we could both be in a suicide status. It could be one of those rare situations where it's a tie game, and then John and I will hate each other forever because then we can never say that we beat your ass.
Yeah, that's true.
That
would be the fucking worst. Could you imagine if John and I go to the fucking Steelers Chargers game that ends up being a fucking tied game? Oh my god, that would be the worst. Because there would be all this tension between John and I, and that shit wouldn't release until we fucking play again in like fucking 5 years. Like, that would be absolutely torture if that shit happened. I'd be like, fuck that shit. Fucking hate tie games. Thankfully, they rarely ever happen. But
yeah,
with how overtime's set up, that shit's like, you're looking at. I mean, it's very, very rare that you see a tied game. I think we had like 1 or 2 tied games all of last season. So
no, I think we only had 1 last season. 1 in the last few years, actually.
Oh, really? Yeah. That shit like never ever happened. I think it was Panthers. I can't remember who they were playing, but I think it was the Panthers ended up having the tied game.
Video game.
Why do I feel like if I see a tie game, I think both teams suck? Because it's like you guys both suck enough to not even score 3 points.
I think the last one was Bengals Eagles.
Yeah,
which
that would get the description of that game. It's so bad, it's good. Was basically the description.
Do you remember the game that Donovan McNabb played where a tie and he didn't know that like you could tie in the NFL? That shit was hilarious.
When really like freaking he was in a tie game like maybe like a couple years earlier. I don't know.
You want to know what's fun fact is in high school when I was on JV, I was in 2 ties in a row.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, in high school.
How the hell does that happen?
I don't know. How do you score 55 points and lose a game? That's happened to me too.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, the Colts scored like 44 points against us, and we still whooped their ass.
You should look at Chicago and like when Mark Trestman was new. Like he scored lots of points, but the defense completely sucked. So there you go. But yeah, if you have a tie game, your team kind of sucks because both offenses couldn't even get 3 points in all of overtime. So there you go. That's my logic. Video games.
Video games. So, who's excited for Batman Arkham Knight? Everyone, I assume.
I am very, very excited, but this news has been quite controversial.
Oh, yeah.
So, the publisher of this game Is Warner Brothers, the fine folks who brought you
Mortal Kombat. And this is the thing, when Mortal Kombat 10 came out, I was like, they better not fucking do this shit to fucking Batman. And guess what? It's not as bad as Mortal Kombat, but it's pretty fucking bad.
We don't know if it's as bad as Mortal Kombat, because it's a season pass, and it's all vague and weird.
Well, okay, yeah, so let's go into this.
What's going on now?
So they have announced a season pass for Batman Arkham Knight. The game isn't even fucking out yet, and they're announcing a season pass for $40. $40 fucking dollars. So the game in the season pass, you're not $100 fucking dollars. The season pass for Batman Arkham Knight delivers new content every month for 6 months, featuring new story missions, more supervillains invading Gotham City, new legendary Batmobiles, advanced challenge maps, alternative character skins, and new drivable racetracks. Oh, I fucking hate this shit. Because I guarantee you at least half of this if it's coming out within 6 months, I guarantee you at least half of this shit is on the fucking disc. I guarantee you.
Here's the thing, though. People will buy it because Batman.
Oh, of course they will.
You want fucking... You know what? No, I won't. Fuck you. That's what I'm saying. Like, unless it is meaningful content. Like
holy shit! You did a Bronson rants on this.
It's out today. It's out yesterday. Unless it is meaningful content. Like, for instance, Arkham City had that Harley Quinn DLC. That was meaningful.
Yeah, content. It was like $10. It was like $10 or something like that.
It was $10 for 2.5, 3 hours of extra story mode and some new challenges and new Riddler stuff. And you got to play as Robin. You know, like
that's completely reasonable.
Yeah, $40.
And that came out well after the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, that came out like a couple months after.
Yeah, so they're saying new content every month for 6 months. Okay, like I said,
that means they're working on it right now already before the.
Or the shit's on the disc, like Mortal Kombat 10. Like half of that DLC's. I mean, most of that DLC, all that DLC that was available at launch was all on the fucking disc.
Yeah,
they just locked it.
Okay, like, man, I'm so unbelievably mad about this right now. Like, I know the
bullshit, dude.
Like, I get it.
Fucking Warner Brothers pissing me off, dude.
We may not buy it, but people will because.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. If I fucking own Warner Brothers, absolutely, I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm not hating on the fact that, I mean, sure, they're gonna make more money because of it. I'm just speaking from a gamer's perspective. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, like here's the thing. Like, when are we gonna get to this point where fucking gamers say fucking no? Because
we won't ever get to that point, dude. We live in a fucking world where people pay for skins. We live in a world where people download apps and buy fucking fake farms and fake animals and shit like that. This shit will never end, and companies are going to take advantage of it.
There's just one... Oh, how do I put this? This is going to reach into some really high-end philosophical or psychological bullshit. I forgot who wrote this, but he used like simulation and simulacra or something like this. But one of the things that he kind of pointed out is... Everyone does it because you are told to expect. You're expected to do it. For example, like a good example is you go to Disneyland. Disneyland tells you, hey, here's a good photo spot. Everyone should take their photo right here. And what does everyone do? They go and take their photo right there, even though it may not be the best angle. But you're told to appreciate it because you got to do it.
A large majority of our population is easily convinced, which sucks.
I'm saying
that's the thing. Like, freaking marketing at this point is just kind of like you're told to like a product instead of actually sitting there and be like, do I actually like it, or was I actually, was it because someone else told me, hey, I just had to do it?
Why is it? I remember back in the day when like skins and
you'd earn them in game by completing shit.
And like the really cool skins were really hard shit to do in game. Like that, that made sense, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, okay, new story missions, that's awesome. All right, I'll give them that.
Yes, that is awesome. My problem is the fact that this shit's coming out pretty much month after month, right when the game comes out, that shit's already fucking done. There is no way that you're going to develop and test a mission in a month. I'm sorry. That shit is not happening. I highly doubt it anyways.
You know, either that or it's really close to done, or, you know, like, there's all kind of, like, it won't bother me. It won't bother me as much if the core game feels like a full game with a complete story and everything. Like, if
I would be fine with that. If the single, but the what has me concerned is that Mortal Kombat 10 did not get that treatment. Mortal Kombat 10, it's like the shit that they were charging you for was fucking ridiculous. Like, yeah, there was a lot. It just, I don't know.
Like Goro, are you fucking serious? Goro has been like an MK for ages. That's like not having Sub-Zero. That's like having fucking Sub-Zero as DLC. Are you serious?
That's what they're gonna do with Mortal Kombat 11. They're gonna fucking charge for fucking the main characters. They're gonna give you the game and be like, oh, DLC. you wanna play with Sub-Zero and Scorpion? Pay us $10. And guess what? I guarantee you they'll get a lot of people to bite on it.
This is, you know,
it's freaking ridiculous. Forget the whole like. I don't give two shits about like trophies and achievements and all this shit. What I want are the original achievements where you actually unlock shit in the fucking game by doing stuff. Yes. Not these little trophies and achievements that don't do anything. Get rid of that shit. I don't care. Get rid of it. I don't care. Let me unlock shit that matters, like additional content in the game.
Like, I've been playing Bloodborne recently, and that has a bunch of in-game stuff that, like, you know, for doing shit that's just like joke costumes and gear and joke weapons for doing, you know, extra shit. Like, that's cool. You know, that's awesome. And then there's, you know, and I'm not against DLC as a whole. Like, I think Nintendo's Mario Kart DLC, that's exactly how
I'm definitely not against DLC.
Here's the thing, like, DLC needs to feel like it's an extra for the fans. Like, here's a really good example. Do you fucking love Oblivion? Here's the Shivering Isles expansion.
And then there's also Horse Armor.
Expansions are almost always worth it, except for Destiny. Those expansions are awful.
Oh man, they're even stretching words with that one. Oh.
God, they call it expansion. Like, we've already discussed that. It's pretty much a patch. It's less than a patch. Like, get the hell out of here calling it an expansion and charging $20.
But like, it's an expansion because we say it is.
I look at back in the day where, like, DLC, you know, and this is way back in the day, this is pre-360, where, like, on the original Xbox, you could get all the Halo maps, like, all 9 of them.
Back in the day, like, I'm not joking, E3... Sorry,
that's back when it was a new... That was back when it was a new thing and they were testing the waters. They were like, oh, well, people really pay $5 for 10 maps? And now it's like, we'll charge $5 a map.
Back in the day, like, freaking EA would, like, say, oh, you like Need for Speed 3? Here's a free car. I mean, granted, dial-up would take, like, an entire night to download it, but here's a free car. Here's 5 free cars.
You know who provided the
nowadays,
best...
That's an add-on pack for, like, $5.
Let me ask you guys this. Let's see if we agree here. Which game do you guys think provided the best support after release without charging a dime?
Burnout Paradise, probably.
Absolutely. Burnout fucking Paradise.
Though Halo 2 was pretty good. Halo 2, they charged for, like, the people early, but, like, a month after all the maps were finally out, everything went free.
But Burnout Paradise, they just released so much shit for that game and never charged a dime for it. They added, like, bikes, day and night cycle, like, so much shit. They even expanded the map for fucking free. Like, what the hell?
I mean, and let's look at expansion packs back in the day. Like, back in the Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3 had one expansion pack. It was Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne. And normally, if you buy an expansion nowadays, you'll get a campaign, maybe some extra multiplayer stuff. With Warcraft 3, you got 1, 2, 3 campaigns, plus a bonus side story campaign, plus of a bunch of additions to multiplayer. Like that, you know, and it wasn't even the price of a full game. It was the price of an expansion pack. That's fucking awesome.
I would dare say that even the expansions of, like, the original Sims and sort of The Sims 2. Like, The Sims 2 is notorious for, like, expansion packs like crazy. But at the time, I didn't think it was really that big of a deal because it's like, well, The Sims 2 is a really, 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 really good game. It's just the expansion packs just like added lots of stuff. Like my favorite one is Open for Business. Oh my goodness, you can run your own business. That's so awesome. It's freaking great. It's like this whole new gameplay mechanic that's a little clumsy and probably doesn't work that well, but hey, it's pretty good. And maybe those expansions were overpriced too, if I'm honest. But then it got to a point where it's like, how come your new Sims game doesn't have stuff that all your expansions did in the previous game?
I don't know why I
knew the new Sims was going to be a problem when we tried interviewing the producer, and she couldn't even answer questions.
That's what I was just saying.
Yeah, when you ask the producer of the game, like, what's new in your game, and she says, "Oh, you can build houses, you can customize your character." Like, it's like, okay, it's time to be worried.
Let me put it this way. We couldn't publish that interview. Let me just put it that way. Okay, I am not going to even go that deep into specifics as to why we couldn't. We just couldn't.
Man,
and it wasn't, and it's not because they asked us not to. We just made the decision.
I remember it was so funny because my main point of contact over at Seagate, because they sponsored us at E3 last year, he used to work at EA and he worked on a couple of the Sims titles back when the Sims was actually like it was actually pretty cool. And he was like, "Oh, just post it." And I'm like, "Dude, trust me, it is that bad."
Do not want to see this. Like this is just not cool.
It is bad.
You know, I think I had a long discussion about like interviews at events at like E3 and stuff, and how about like I really prefer interviewing like smaller companies most of the time. Because I can actually find out, I can actually ask questions that not every other website is going to ask. Because here's the thing, if you go to like EA and you ask them about Madden, you're like, so it's been 12 years, how come no dedicated server still? Like, you can't do that.
You can't really word it that way because it's blatantly obvious you're just bashing them on a little unprofessional on camera.
Oh yeah,
I would personally put it as okay. So Madden has had online for a very long time now. So we want to what improvements have you made to the online system to make it run more reliably and more consistently to address concerns of dropped connections?
And then they'll make up some bullshit issues. That doesn't. Because here's the thing, like. Fucking Madden Online still's awful. It is still fucking awful.
Yes.
Tell me how it went through the entire generation of PS3 and 360, where fucking online was really big then.
Who cares?
Here we are on the PlayStation 4. Here we are on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and this shit still does not fucking work.
I had a game last week where I
the
saw
worst thing about online
player.
is kicking. Kicking, like field goals, forget about it. Your field goal game is completely thrown out online because the kicking is so lagged. It's awful.
Oh no, let's talk.
But we're the only NFL game we don't really need to work on it. Because nobody else can do better because we're the only ones who can do better, which we should decide not to.
Let's talk about teleporting players. Last night I was playing a game and I threw a pass, and it was going to be an incomplete, and then my dude teleported.
Isn't that what the real NFL is like sometimes, though? They just run so fast, you think that they're the Flash on, like, really?
I have been both helped and screwed by this glitch in multiple Maddens. Nano blitzes are still in the game. Like, what the hell? It has been how long? Like, you can still confuse Madden's terrible offensive line AI by, okay, jam everyone in the middle, have them all go inside, and there'll be a free man to rush the passer every time. Yeah. Like, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous how bad the offensive line AI is after all these years. And then I will go back and I will play All Pro Football 2K8 or NFL 2K5, and the offensive line the AI will still be better. It has been 11 fucking years. 11 years. And the AI is still better in 2K.
That's what happens when you don't have competition.
But fuck off.
Have you guys heard about the new Joe Montana football?
That seems like a neat idea.
Yeah, so they're working on a Joe Montana football. It's coming out. So far, it's announced for the Xbox One and PC. Nothing's been said about a PS4 version. And it's a thing. Joe Montana tweeted about not too long ago being at Microsoft Studios in Seattle, and it's been in development for like a couple years now. But of course, pretty much what the concept is 2K. So it's 2K working with Joe Montana, and they're working on this game. But the problem is, obviously, they can't use NFL license, so it's going to be like players that have retired.
All pro football 2K, basically.
Yeah, so it's like, even if that game comes out and is like 10 times better than Madden, it's not going to be near as successful because they don't have the license. It's using the Unreal Engine, which that kind of, I don't know about that, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree with Nick on that one. Like, certain games, they need competition so they can get better.
Well, that is with everything. Absolutely every single thing it applies to. Like, gaming, non-gaming. Look at companies that have tough competition. Look at companies that don't. The companies that have tough competition perform better. Like, look at, like, last generation was fucking crazy with the PS3 and 360 because of the competition. Look at the Xbox One bundles this holiday season because of the competition. Microsoft didn't do that because they felt like being nice. They did that because they had to. Competition produces better quality. It makes products cheaper.
Don't you just love it when a company has to work its butt off to even survive? Like,
yeah, it ends up with better products for the consumers. You know, look at these game consoles. So take a look at the PlayStation 4, for example, okay? Let's say Sony came out with the PlayStation 4, and it was the only video game console. Only video game console. Easily, that shit would probably be $600, $700. Easily, like price, because at that point, gamers would find a way to buy it. But the fact that they have to compete with the Xbox, they have to compete on a competitive level, and Sony did what they had to come out cheaper than the Xbox One, which is what they did. Sony didn't do that by choice. They did that because they wanted to compete. And it's the same thing with games. Like, yeah, games, the pricing stays the same because that's universal pricing. Although back when I think it was 2K5 came out for fucking $20 and it was like 10 times better than Madden, that was fucking insane.
Or back when original PlayStation games were cheaper than N64 games because they were on disc, not cart.
But other than those rare circumstances, they aren't necessarily competing with price, but they do compete with fucking quality. And look at Call of Duty, for example. Call of Duty doesn't have a strong competitor. You can say Battlefield, but they're completely different audiences. If there was another first-person shooter that was coming out every single year and was eating up the sales of Call of Duty, I guarantee you Call of Duty would be better and they'd actually innovate on it more, just like Madden. If fucking 2K was still making football games, Madden would be 10 times better now because they'd have to be catching up and competing with 2K. Yeah, but no, instead they're like, oh, if you want to play an NFL game, haha, trick's on you. You have to buy our game.
And 2K
so yeah, we'll make improvements to try to get people to buy from last year, but we don't have to do too much because we don't have anyone competing with us.
I mean, like, I look at... Like, if we don't get a review copy this year, I might skip Madden. Like, last year had some improvements, but like they're kind of minimal. And then the more I play it, the more I'm just kind of like, eh.
They definitely made a lot of visual enhancements with Madden this year.
Well, yeah, it's like, oh man, we need to make it look like a sports broadcast.
With the worst commentary ever.
Like I remember playing Madden at E3 and I was blown away. I was like, holy shit.
I know what you're thinking, Bremen. I know what you're thinking.
This game looks so much better, but I mean, look at 2K15. Look at 2K15 and then look at NBA Live. Okay? That's where we would probably be right now in football. We would have, and the 2K series would be on the level of what NBA's at, and NBA Live would be what Madden is. Which means that 2K would completely fucking shit on Madden. Without a question. Like I said, there's still some aspects of 2K5 that are still better than fucking Madden NFL 15. 10 years later, there's still things that are better in 2K5. 10 years! 10
yeah, but the problem
years.
is, there's nobody else now. You can't buy any more football games except from them.
Freaking look at where you were at 10 years ago. Freaking. We all lived a life where we had like no responsibilities.
They're probably thinking like, oh, it sells every year. Yeah, we don't need to change much because we're guaranteed.
Oh yeah, they're like
sales.
guaranteed. We're gonna sell over a couple million copies. We're gonna sell a couple million copies regardless.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Oh, we're gonna lose an NFL license. Don't worry, just call the piggy bank.
Yeah, everyone's gonna want to play with Jameis Winston and Mariota this year. Who cares? Let's just put it out there. Like, come on.
All right, so
Richard Sherman, he'll sell us copies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move on to
hold on. I had another bit about Batman. Some good news, actually.
Yes, we need it.
The new trailer came out.
Oh, God,
and
yes.
They have shown that you will be able to play as Robin, Catwoman, and Nightwing.
Hell yeah!
The Batmobile will be upgradable. You will be able to use the Batplane. And there is apparently Azrael is going to be in the game.
If the Batmobile,
my son is going to be in the game.
Azrael is going to be in the game.
I know, my son.
Yes, your son is going to be in the game. But yes, Azrael, the character from Batman, will be in the game. They haven't said if he's playable yet.
If they're going to give the ability to customize the Batmobile, I hope it's actually. I think it's going to be stuck to weapons and stuff to make it drive faster and that kind of stuff, but if they do put in some really stupid cosmetic shit, I'm gonna be really annoyed.
Pink Batmobile with rims, spinning rims.
If I see some
spinners and hydraulics.
If I see a hydraulic Batmobile with 20-inch rims that stands with purple neon lights, I'm gonna lose it.
That's gonna be in the DLC. You can buy hydraulics for your Batmobile.
It'll cost you $10, and if you want purple hydraulic lights, it's a 99-cent add-on.
Well, don't forget the spinners.
Let's microtransaction this bullshit while we're at it. Ugh.
$1 for each color, just like Gears of War gun skins. There you go.
Freaking, I don't even know what to think at this point anymore.
All right, well,
but Catwoman, you can buy a costume that's a little bit more racy, but you have to pay $5 for it.
Oh well,
it shows a little bit more skin.
I'm really excited to be playing as Robin though. That makes me happy. That makes me super excited.
I just want Nightwing to be playable, so that's already there.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that game, dude. I'm really looking forward to it, especially with my Beast PC. Hell fucking yeah! I know.
But
my machine. My machine exceeds the ultra settings, so that tells me I'm gonna have two 980s. So that means that I'll probably be able to run this game in probably about 2K ultra. It's gonna be freaking sick because I should have my 4K TV by then.
Hey Nick, DirectX 12, $12 for the add-on.
Oh my god! That's exactly. Do you want DirectX 12 support where the game performs better?
$20.
$20.
Pre-order the DirectX patch now and get an extra 5% upgrade. Get the free Super HD 4K texture pack.
That's the type of shit where that's gonna become the normal. Watch, it's gonna become a fucking normal. Everyone's gonna start charging for DirectX 12 support.
And at that point, I'd be like, why the hell did I buy a 970 anyways?
Oh, dude. Jokes aside, dude, when DirectX 12 comes... I sent you guys an article, I think, this past week.
The thing is that you have
jokes aside, when DirectX 12 comes out, dude, your 970 is going to be able to perform better than my 980 currently does.
And everyone's going to have to move to Windows 10 to get it, right?
Right. I think that's going to be the big thing. Like, if you're a PC gamer... Absolutely, you're going to Windows 10. You're going to put up with whatever shit that operating system gives you just for the support of DirectX 12. You're going to do it. And I think that's part of the reason why Microsoft said that, because the thing is, if they said, oh, DirectX 12 supports come into Windows 7 and Windows 8, well, a large majority of people are going to stay on Windows 7 and Windows 8. That's what happened when they came out with Windows 8.
Because
so a large percentage stayed on Windows 7, and the problem is that ends up being costly for Microsoft because they have so many people using Windows 7, they have to continue supporting it, and they have to keep investing and making sure Windows 7 works with all your software. Whereas if they can migrate everyone or a large majority of people, then they can stop focusing on previous platforms.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing Apple does very well with their phones versus Android is adoption of the operating systems. Like on Android, it's a pain in the ass, and I know this for a fact because it's my job. I deal with Android apps and iPhone apps, and it's a pain in the ass when Android devices, there's about 15 to 20 different versions being used because every device has its different version, and this device gets this update before this one, and it becomes this fucking convoluted mess. Whereas with iOS, it's like, okay, iOS says 8's out. As long as you have this device set up, you can get it. And then instantly, within like a week, they'll have 50% of their people have adopted the new iOS version. And those other 50%, probably 45, are the previous version, and the other 5% are lingering other users.
Here's the other headache, too, I noticed with Android, is that Android 5.0 Lollipop thingy is out. I have an LG G2, which can run Android 5.0. Verizon has it, Sprint doesn't. So
yeah, the whole carrier bullshit.
Yeah. Whereas
it's
with Apple
freaking
devices,
ridiculous. You know how much of a pain in the ass that is for development? It's the big... Like, when we have to do an Android app for a client, I'm like, fuck. Literally, that's the first thought that comes to my mind is fuck. Like... It's so much easier to do an iPhone app, like debugging and testing and bug reporting. All that stuff is fucking 100 times easier on iOS compared to Android. Because Android, you have to get, okay, which device are you using? Which version are you using? Oh my gosh, iPhone, it's like, okay, device, iOS. Like, you're working with very few variables with iOS. You're working with a few devices and a couple iOS versions. Whereas Android, you're dealing with like 15 different devices, like 15 different versions. It's like, oh my god. Yeah. That's what I get to deal with my job sometimes is Android versions of apps. And I'm just like, do you really want an Android app? Yeah, we do, because so many people have an Android phone. Yes, that is very true. Oh, well.
To be honest, though, this is just speaking from a college viewpoint. To make a very, very basic app is actually just easier with Android because you could type, I guess, dumber code is the wrong word to put it, but you get the point, right? But whereas Apple, they have like more standards you actually have to hold to because they need to have things run well
right
on that end. But yeah, that usually leads to because a person told me who made an Android, or at least a student told me, making Android and Apple. With Android, you can do whatever you want, which is both nice and bad depending on how you look at it. And with Apple, they are more restrictive on how you do things. If you want to do this certain function, you have to follow this procedure, as per Apple's way of doing things. With Android, you can just do however you want, but that could be, again, good or bad. So, yep. Anyways, that's app development.
So, Nick, next news story? Ugh.
Yes. My rant, gosh. Okay, moving along. The map size of The Witcher 3 has been compared to Grand Theft Auto 5, Skyrim, and Far Cry 4. Are you guys ready to be blown away? Are you guys ready to be blown away? This shit's fucking crazy. Okay. The Witcher 3 map is around 136 kilometers, which only includes Novigrad, No Man's Land, and Skellige Islands. There are around 4 to 6 other regions which are unknown at this point, so let's just keep that in mind. So this is even the entire map. This is just, there's still another 4 to 6 regions that we don't know about.
136 square kilometers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
136 square kilometers, okay. The Witcher 3 is at least 3.7 times bigger than Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, 1.5 times bigger than Grand Theft Auto 5, 3.3 times bigger than Red Dead Redemption, 3 times bigger than Far Cry 4, and 3.5 times bigger than Skyrim.
God, I cannot wait for this fucking game.
That is fucking crazy.
Whoa. Okay. So it's just like, oh man, the map is so huge and there's gonna be so much to do. But Dragon Age Inquisition. That's what I have to say to that. Because there's two sides to this, okay? There's the camp that Bronson and I sit in, then there's the camp that other people sit in. Like Dragon Age Inquisition is a good example, because Dragon Age Inquisition, you have colossally huge maps. The hinterlands, oh my goodness, takes forever to travel across, pretty to look at, lots of places you could go to, etc, etc, etc. Most people say, oh man, there's so much to do and so much to explore, you could play this game for 200 hours. And then there's people like me that are like, I don't feel like there's much value to this much area. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm droning on forever, like a road trip. It's like, yeah, it's a very pretty forest, but I feel like I'm on Interstate 5 driving through what instead of is a desert, it's a forest, and I'm just going on and on and on. And I just want to get there already.
It's very technically impressive, but I think about, all the time I spent on different MMOs, and I'm like, my favorite zones in those and my favorite zones in regular RPGs and RPGs in general are not these ones with these huge fucking giant zones. I recently played through GTA 5, and the thing I realized about GTA 5 is like, if there were not conversations going on when I was driving, I would have hated how big that game was.
Well, the nice thing with Grand Theft Auto 5, that I didn't really mind it. There's a couple reasons. One, you could always get a plane or a helicopter and get there really fast. Or you can call a cab. And you the cab. Yeah, you can call a cab. And
that's the greatest right there.
And you can skip the ride. So, because once you get to a certain point, it's like that extra freaking $100 is fucking nothing. So
you could like just hire a helicopter and let it fly you there. That's great.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. I'm super fucking stoked for The Witcher 3, though.
Every ounce of, like, I totally understand what Anthony and Bronson are saying, but I fully trust in Project Red, like 100%. The Witcher 2 was such a fucking good game. Like,
I want to
all
say
doubt
that,
is gone.
I want to say that just, like, my point is not that The Witcher 3 is going to have a lot of boring side quests and a lot of area that's not going to mean much. What I want to say is, just because you have a colossal amount of square mileage or square kilometers in this case doesn't necessarily mean that's awesome. Technically, yes. Freaking The Witcher 3 is gonna like use up like so much memory on your system just to render these colossal environments that, with minimal loading times or whatever. But it depends on what you do with it. Like in the case of Oblivion, the place wasn't too big. I mean, it was big, but it was probably borderline too big, but it was like, hey, it wasn't too bad. If you wanted to walk on foot, with the exception if you were at the start of the game and you were stupid and didn't realize there was fast travel.
Man, my first time playing Oblivion was magical, and by magical, I was really fucking dumb and didn't know a lot about that game. So, like, for one, I didn't know about fast travel, so I just spent like a week, what felt like a week, but was really probably like 3 hours just lost in the forest.
Dude, I did the same exact thing in Red Dead Redemption.
Oh.
Yeah.
But like, what about that thing you were talking about, Anthony? Remember how you were describing about what Dragon's Dogma one, where like it made you feel like it was a huge place, was the way you were traveling, right?
Dragon's Dogma. Oh man, how do I put this? Like, yeah, Dragon's Dogma, like I said, it's like there's two sides to look at. In Dragon's Dogma, I actually didn't mind walking on foot to places because, with the exception of pawns being absolutely outright fucking retarded and walking off cliffs and never coming back, it kind of felt like I was on the trip, yeah. But in the case of the Dragon Age ones, yeah, walking around makes you feel like you're actually getting somewhere, but they shoved in so many side quests that I feel like don't really do anything other than here's some stuff to pad it out. But to some people, it's like, but there are things to do, like I said. I don't really hold a grudge against people who have a lot to do because I can understand having played Oblivion and Skyrim and Final Fantasy 14 and Warcraft.
You play you play Final Fantasy 14 and in those games the reason that you keep playing them is because content never runs dry. Like there's always something to do.
Yeah, or you're working towards something. Whereas in Dragon Age, you're sort of working in something, but at the same time, I just don't understand what everyone else is saying, and that's just me.
I think that I I look back to the early days of Warcraft versus now, where like back in the day there were certain zones in Warcraft where there would be like one quest hub in the middle of a zone, and that'd be it. Like that's where all the quests for the zone are, and then the rest is just like traveling through miles and miles of this zone, doing the quest, then coming back and getting another one. Versus, and it's just this huge zone. You're like, fuck, this takes forever. This isn't that fun. Versus now, where they like do a smaller zone, and then there are multiple quest hubs, and it does a trail. Like, okay, you do a bunch here, and then the next quest takes you to the next hub, and the next hub, and the next hub, and it makes you feel like you're on this journey through this zone. It makes the zone seem bigger than it is, and it's not fucking boring. And that's my problem with a lot of Western art. Like, my two biggest problems with Western RPGs is I hate the combat systems for most of them. Like, outside of Mass Effect 2 and 3, they're all bad and terrible. And then the other reason I dislike a lot of Western RPGs is because of this exact same thing, where it's like, here, do tons of pointless, meaningless bullshit, because
oh man, if there is... I noticed that the side quests that I tend to enjoy the most are the ones that have its own like major sub-story plot line. Like
Oblivion.
Oblivion was a great example. Like, I want to do a side quest, and yeah, there were plenty of small little side quests, but they're kind of like more like in the city, so you're not like running everywhere across the world. But in the case of like Oblivion, it's like, I want to do side quests for the Mages Guild. That was actually a storyline. And same with the Assassin's Guild, and even in Skyrim, I'm like, hey, I want to do the Assassin's Guild because there's an actual plot to it. Oh my goodness! In the Warriors Guild, you find out that the freaking higher ups of the freaking Fighters Guild or Adventurers Guild is a bunch of werewolves. Great. Oh.
Well, it's the same thing in an MMO, right? Like anywhere you'll go into this zone and do this quest. Like, an MMO is essentially almost nothing but side quests. Like, that's what it is when you think about it. Like, there's some main quest stuff, but it's mostly side quests. But in a good MMO, like a Final Fantasy or Warcraft or even a DC universe, they'll be like really interesting. Like, Anthony and I always mention the Paladin Pals. Or
that was nice.
Yeah. Or the day Deathwing came. Like those
were the times.
Yeah, like those are. But like a lot of the time in a Western RPG, especially it's like, go do this thing for me because you need to rank up to progress the story. What's this thing? Feed my horses. It's like, okay, well, give me the feed. You need to go across a land through a cave and kill a demon to get my horse feed.
Don't you just hate it when they don't mark the maps very well and you don't know how to get up a fucking cliff?
That's equally as annoying.
Yeah, Skyrim and Dragon Age, I know, have that problem. It's like, I can't do this side quest because I don't know how to get up there.
Oh.
Yeah, but basically, land area, technically impressive, but you kind of have to make it mean something, too. Because otherwise, it's just a load of scenery. That's all it's going to be. It's just a load of scenery that you can't really do much with.
So, anyway. Who is getting this day one? I know, Anthony, you're probably getting it day one, right?
Actually, because I bought a 970, it comes with it for free.
Yeah, that's why you will be getting it day one.
I will be getting
I sure
it
as hell will be. I will be getting it day one for sure.
I will have it week one because I'm going to be renting it. So I'll have it
day one because tips, baby.
So all of us are, if everything goes well, all of us are getting this day one. We need to talk about this when we actually get to explore.
Yeah, we need to start our spoiler cast back up.
Yes, exactly.
There's a lot of games we've missed out on.
Like, the thing is Brad and I are the only people who've played Bloodborne, and I'm still working on finishing it. I just defeated the Shadow of Yharnam today.
Yeah,
wait till you fight Martyr, whatever his name is, Low Gain or something like that. He's fucking tough.
So, did you ever go down into that lower level and get the doll costume?
Yeah, I did that already.
That was hilarious. Like,
hey, I don't want to talk about it too much before I get to play it.
Like freaking.
Yeah, let's not spoil it.
I'm hoping to get it sometime within the month of May. So hopefully we can actually get that spoiler cast going sometime soon.
Yeah, I'm aiming to finish it soon. Like I want to have it finished before Batman, but I'm not sure because Ray and I start streaming The Last of Us tomorrow. Yeah. So anyway.
Nick,
so
sorry. Go ahead. So I want to talk about this. So you said 137 square kilometers.
Yes. Okay,
so I punched it into an online calculator. That is about 52.9 square miles.
Ooh.
Bronson, Bremen, John, Reno, the official city of Reno, border city limits, is only 104 square miles.
So pretty much more than half of Reno.
And mind you, we're walking through The Witcher 3 with only fast travel and horses and no cars. So, there you go. The Witcher 3, half the size
Nick,
of the official borders of Reno.
Nick also said that was only one region.
Well, yeah, that's what's known. There's still 4 to 6 other regions that are unknown at this point. So I think that was for like 3. That was like 3 of the regions. But there's still another 4 to 6.
I remember they said too you could like sail too, right?
Yeah,
I saw a video where you're sailing.
This game's gonna be fucking ridiculously huge.
This is why I highly stress that if you're gonna put in 52.9 square miles of known regions at this point, you're gonna have to make it mean something instead of just a bunch of stuff to pad out and say, "Look, guys, we've got a benchmark."
Okay,
because you know, like I'm kind of hoping this game is more than just a benchmark. Because ever since that system specs came out, all people ever talked about is, can you play Witcher 3 on max settings or something?
So hold on, I have a quick question. You said it was 52 square kilometers.
No, it's 137 square kilometers, which is about 52.9 square miles.
All right, to put that in perspective for everyone who plays Warcraft, the whole of all of World of Warcraft, except Draenor, because this article is old, is 478 total square miles, which means this is almost the size of all of the Eastern Kingdoms. Which, if you've played WoW, Anthony, how long would you say it would take to walk from the bottom of Stranglethorn Vale to the Plague Lands?
The Plague Lands and not... what's that elven city called?
Oh,
Silvermoon City.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was just want to say, do you mean to walk all the way from the southern all the way up to the capital city, Silvermoon City?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't even know. It's been a while because I just played that entire game on flying mounts now.
Yeah,
and fast travel and warping.
Dude, I loved playing a mage. Just teleport wherever I need to go.
To walk on foot and take all the trails, I'd say it probably would take me like a good couple hours or more.
Yeah. So,
assuming I can walk through that elven area without getting shot dead,
that's
the Alliance.
That's like ridiculously insane.
Yeah,
like I said, you got to make it meaningful because otherwise it's just a benchmark number.
Yeah, like to be the size, it's not the size of the Eastern Kingdoms. It's close. The Eastern Kingdoms is 160. So to put that in perspective, that's huge.
Like, here's the other thing too, is like, if you make something that huge, how do you model the whole thing and just say, here's a beautiful, like, how do you model the whole thing? Because you're taking entire months to model.
Keep in mind that this isn't your Call of Duty release one every year. The Witcher 2 came out over 4 years ago.
It came out 4 years ago. It came out in March, so it's 4 years old.
Okay, yes, but still, it's like, man, there has to be a colossal amount of time spent just modeling it, because you can't just, like, chuck this into some game engine and said, randomize a gigantic 100 square mile area for me, please. No, it has to like make sense too, and you have your art, and it has to match what the artists want for that area. And so that's a lot of work.
And like I said, it has to be like good, worthwhile content that you want to play.
Which well, to be honest, people said Dragon Age Inquisition had a lot of good meanwhile content, whereas you and I sit in the camp of we don't fucking get it.
Dude, I don't care, man. I'd still play. I mean, I'd love it. Just the long travel, the long distance travel. I'd do it. I'd walk 500 miles.
I would walk
500 more.
Oh man.
I would walk 1,000. What's that
song?
500 miles.
see you.
As someone who
is that Vanessa Carlton? Is that who sings that?
No, that's the Proclaimers.
I would walk 1,000.
Oh wait, no,
that's the first thing that. That's the first thing that came
different song.
That's the first thing that came into mind. I'm pretty sure it's Vanessa Carlton. That's the first thing that came into mind when Bremen said that. Just to see.
Like, as someone who has
tonight. Sorry.
Like, I got one of the Lore Master achievements in World of Warcraft, which is an achievement for completing all the quests in all the zones of one of the continents. I have it for the Cataclysm stuff, and like most of that content was meaningful content, but man, that is like 200 hours of meaningful content. I hope it does turn out to be awesome. Like I didn't play much of The Witcher 2. Like I bought it on Steam.
Good.
I bought it on Steam for like $3. Never got around to it. Yeah, I hope that I'm probably just gonna wait for the third one, especially because I'm playing Bloodborne at the moment.
Anthony, you should definitely give it a shot, dude. They're not doing a Steam sale on it, but if you don't mind buying it on Origin, I think it's like $5 on Origin right now.
Or you can just log into my Steam account when I'm not using it and play it.
That too. But yeah, Anthony, you got to give it a shot and see what you think. I like it a lot.
Good.
I like it much better than Dragon Age.
Which game now?
The Witcher 2.
Witcher 2.
Oh, okay. Well, Steam sale. But The Witcher 3 is coming, so why would I play 2 if there's 3?
That's exactly why you would.
It's coming out next month, right?
Yeah, May 19th, I think.
Yeah, like, I'm getting The Witcher 3 anyways, because it comes with the 970 I bought, so there you go.
Dude, you got a good deal on that.
And to be honest, though, if you buy like a qualifying 960, 70, or 80, you get a free copy of The Witcher, or Witcher 3.
They always
I wish they were doing that shit when I bought mine. When I bought mine, there was no special.
To be honest, though, I think they usually do those things if graphic cards are kind of hitting a little bit slump in the 900 series at this point. Anyone who wanted one probably has one now, so...
I'm waiting for the next series for mine, so, shit, by the time I do mine, there'll probably be 2 series out from the 900.
Yeah, you'll be getting the GTX 1170.
Yeah.
Nah, those are just gonna be rebrands. Nvidia loves rebranding.
Hey, what's the next news story, or do I have to?
Yes, I have one more news story that I know all you guys are gonna love because it's a franchise we all love very dearly. So there was a new game that was announced. Fucking Call of Duty Black Ops 3, guys.
All right, I am gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna play some devil's advocate because I play these every year, and the only ones I haven't finished were Advanced Warfare and World at War. I don't know why I feel the need to play these every year, but I do.
Yeah, just give me Rainbow Six.
You need like qualifications to diss on Call of Duty, and one of them is you have to play the games and finish it. Yes, in order to say, yes, I played these games and I thought they were bad.
Alright, so...
I mean, it's true. I mean, you kind of need that.
Alright, yeah, it's true. I'll agree with that. But, so, I hated Call of Duty Ghosts. And I wasn't particularly fond of Advanced Warfare. But Black Ops 2 was a fucking great game. I don't care what anyone says, I will argue for Black Ops 2 all day. And... that trailer looked kind of fucking cool. Like, I'm not good. Like, that music was really great. Like, robots, killer robots, cyborgs. I am kind of A-okay with all of this. I don't know. Does anyone have any commentary on this besides me?
Well, let me talk about the information that was detailed on it. So, it'll be coming out November 6th.
A week after Halo.
It's coming out for PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4, so it's not coming out for the previous consoles.
Awesome.
The game will feature a brand new movement system, including wall running as well as jetpacks, Titanfall, to help players move through the air. Reports state that if players do not want to use these movements, they don't have to. Black Ops 3 includes a new specialist character system in multiplayer inspired by Destiny. 9 specialists, each with 2 abilities, are featured in the title. Players get to pick one specialist and one of the powers before every match. Okay. Abilities for these specialists range from a robot arm transforming into a gun to being able to see through walls. So yeah.
This sounds
so they mixed in some Titanfall in there, huh?
They mixed in some Titanfall and some Halo, and that's kind of what I've been wanting for Call of Duty for years now. So
man, there's a lot of mind linking here. I'm sitting here.
Hey, wait, is there vehicles on there too? No.
And they went ahead and announced the requirements for the game for PC, which are very, very modest, as always for Call of Duty. Windows 7 or Windows 8. On the processor side, an Intel i3 530 or AMD Phenom 2 X4 810.
Man, that's like 5-year-old stuff right there.
6 gigabytes of RAM. So check this out. A GTX 470 or Radeon HD 6970 DirectX 11. So yeah. So this thing will run on a very
little the expectation. System. Yeah, the expectations of the graphics is you need a moderate amount of power for that.
Here's the thing, like the Call of Duty games still play relatively well. Like they are fun games. Like they're if you've like I feel if I were skipping Call of Duty games and I hit the right year, I'd be okay with this existing. Like, my history of the franchise is I really liked 1 and 2, hated 3, really liked 4, disliked...
4 was amazing.
Yeah, 4 was a huge step ahead.
That's the game that made Call of Duty what it is today.
Disliked World at War, liked Modern Warfare 2, didn't like it as much as the first one. Black Ops had some cool ideas and made me want Call of Duty to go one of two ways. Either I wanted them to do Call of Duty Vietnam or Call of Duty, like, Hella Future. And then Modern Warfare 3 came out, and it was probably the worst one. And then Black Ops 2 came out, and it was awesome. And then the past two, Ghost and Advanced Warfare, have been kind of meh. But, like, this looks legit. Like, you have, like, full Spartan-style armor suits, like, rolling death balls, robotic arms that turn into machine guns. Like, Call of Duty is getting stupid, and I love it.
It has, I dare say, personality.
I know, right? This has some personality. They got the Rolling Stones in the trailer.
We'll see. I'll reserve judgment till I play it.
See, if I wanted to play a futuristic shooter, I could buy Halo, or I could get Star Wars Battlefront. Yay, can't wait.
Oh, I cannot wait for fucking Battlefront.
I mean,
so Anthony, here's a question for you. Now that you have your PC and you have a freaking pretty good gaming PC now, are you going to be buying your multiplats on PC or PlayStation 4?
I think my multiplats will mostly be on PS4, but there will be specific games that will go on PC.
That's how I am.
Granted, my stupid logic for this whole damn 970 in the first place is I need to run Heavensward on max settings when it comes out in June. I didn't think anything else. I didn't think, you could buy Star Wars and have it look as awesome as it can possibly be on your PC. And
wait, so you could play what?
Final
Fantasy's expansion pack.
Yeah, I could.
Okay.
That was my immediate logic. Was I need Final Fantasy 14 Heavensward expansion to look as awesome as freaking possible.
I thought that was a game that would run on anything, though. It's not.
Like it'll run on anything, but it won't run like that game can look super pretty. Like I ran.
Let me put it this way:
I was about to say I ran the Heavensward benchmark today, and I can run the game on high.
DirectX 9 or 11?
11.
Okay, good. Yeah, here's the reason why they couldn't optimize the freaking game is because it ran on DirectX 9 this whole freaking time, which blows my mind. But anyways, you were saying?
Oh, that's it. I ran the benchmark today. It runs on high. It looks really good. I tried running it on max, and it's like, you probably shouldn't do this.
Yeah, well, let me put it this way. It's like, here's a reason why MMOs are extremely demanding on graphics cards and even CPU power. CPU power. Imagine 500 people standing in the zone. Imagine having to update the movements of all 500 people and their movement physics. Now, imagine you going through... And the boss. Imagine 27 people sending all of their abilities at this boss and effects are flying everywhere. Like, I would say, oh, my computer can run this area just fine at 60 frames a second. And then I go into a gigantic fireworks show, and then it drops down to like 20. But yeah, there you go. That's why those guys could get really intense.
I do have a question about Call of Duty. Has anyone besides me watched this trailer?
I've seen the trailer.
I saw a 30-second commercial.
Okay, you didn't see the trailer. It actually has personality.
The trailer was very interesting. Yes.
The commercial is kind of a pretty stereotypical Call of Duty commercial, which is explosions and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
like Michael Bay,
like a movie trailer where you watch a good movie trailer and then you actually watch it and you're like,
the Call of Duty commercials. I'm convinced Michael Bay does the commercials for them. He scripts them out. They look exactly like what Michael Bay would do for the next Transformers.
Boom, boom, rapid cuts this, rapid cuts that. Butcher a song so much that it doesn't, flow properly. Butcher it some more. Boom, boom, bang, bang. More booms. Call of Duty 3 buy now, pre-order.
Yeah, like Black Ops 3, like one of the things they showed in this trailer was like they have that mechanical arm, and they totally took this from the first BioShock. Instead of being just real bees, you shoot like robotic bees at people. Like
whoa.
Fuck yeah. Fucking Call of Duty in the future. I'm kind of into this. Like I watched the trailer a couple times because, like I said, I really liked Black Ops 2. Wasn't following the first one, but I liked the second one. And like
the first one is just really funny.
What are the numbers?
It's really funny to make fun of. Like the ending scene was basically you come out of the water, and also you see a gigantic naval fleet flying the American flag, and rock music's blowing in the background. I'm like, what is this shit?
Yeah, like I like the fact
that was Black Ops 1.
I like the fact that Treyarch is willing to be silly and do kind of shit that the other ones aren't willing to do. Like this has mechs in it. Like this trailer has some shit that looks like a Metal Gear. You're fighting robots.
Well, Titanfall.
Are they in disguise?
Yeah, I know, but like, fuck all. Robots have been in games forever. Mech Assault, Mech Warrior, Chrome Hounds, but. I don't know, like this is a new twist on Call of Duty, and I actually kind of hope, like you can sprint and aim down sights and shoot at the same time while wall running. Like even Titanfall, you couldn't shoot and wall run. Like that's, I don't know. I think this is a neat place to go for this series.
Well, that's actually okay. Yeah.
Like I hope the next one is like. They go full future with it, like they go out of space.
I just kind of feel like Treyarch has the ability to do this because they are always known as the other Call of Duty studio.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a bit of that.
Well, yeah, Infinity Ward's definitely the main one.
Yeah, Infinity Ward's like we are making like Ghost has been the worst in a while, and Modern Warfare 3. They were both bad, and like they were just as generic and soulless as possible. And then I look over at Treyarch, like, I wasn't a fan of the first Black Ops, but it's like, it's JFK and Fidel Castro fighting zombies. I'm just like, okay. It's weird. I like this. Like, that,
Bronson just likes the weird shit. That's why I like Saints Row 4.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Game.
To be honest, though,
Saints Row 4 was awful.
I'm not going to have this discussion with you anymore.
Considering
so bad.
Considering the Call of Duty is like kind of like the gray pace of shooters at this point, it probably kind of needs this.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but like, if any franchise needs something crazy and stupid, it's Call of Duty. Like, fucking fighting robots.
I wouldn't say stupid, but dude, crazy, yeah.
Completely off the walls.
It's a robotic arm that fires killer bees.
I mean...
Killer robot bees.
Like, wouldn't you like it when they sit down and it's like, okay, guys, what cool, awesome ideas would you have if you were to make a gun game? Mechs. Yes.
A fart gun.
Okay, that's Saints Row.
Saints Row has a dubstep gun. It also has a black hole gun.
All right, we should move on this conversation. It's getting too stupid.
How much better would Call of Duty? How much better would Call of Duty be with a black hole gun?
Bronson just wants a Saints Row first-person shooter to be Call of Duty. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
He wants some fucking crazy shit.
So
it would be the dumbest fucking. It would be the dumbest fucking game ever, but Bronson would love it.
Oh god.
Saints Row is great. bad
Saints Row
people.
sucks.
Saints Row 3 is good.
You haven't played 4 yet.
No, I haven't played 4 yet.
It'll be named Call of the Saints, huh?
Call of the Saints Advanced Row 5.
Oh my god. This is...
God damn it.
By the way, Anthony, I sent you the trailer to check out sometime.
Yeah, it has a freaking age restriction on it, so I'm a little too lazy to sign in.
Bronson, go ahead and send me this trailer as well. I bet
also,
fantastic.
if you're a fan of the Rolling Stones, it has painted black in the trailer too.
Yeah, I do enjoy the Rolling Stones. So
yeah, that's actually my favorite Rolling Stones song.
I really just don't enjoy Call of Duty though. So we'll see how that goes.
You look, man, I completely understand. Like, I play these every year, and almost every year, I just come out of it being like, just
the Rolling Stones will soothe you as you watch that trailer.
Here's the problem I've kind of noticed with some trailers at times. Look, guys, we've got famous, good, popular song. We're instantly better.
There are like 50 billion better Rolling Stone songs to pick than fucking Paint It Black.
I mean, Give Me Shelter was in the first Black Ops.
Well,
to be honest,
it's like the song has to actually match what you're doing in the trailer, but most people are just like, yeah, let's just put Taylor Swift on our commercial. That'll instantly sell our product better just because we managed to get the rights to put the Taylor Swift song in the commercial for 30 seconds.
So all Taylor Swift sings about is why guys break up with her, and it's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, what's that song? I knew you were trouble when you walked in, and don't fucking get involved with them if you know they're fucking trouble. Like, her songs are so stupid. Like, I hear these songs and I'm like, so you're telling me right now that people listen to this shit? Like, it is so bad. She dates guys that are like half her age, and then wonders why this shit does not work.
Nick,
it's like, what the fuck?
Nick, I really, really listen to Taylor Swift when I'm in a bad mood, so you need to watch your mouth.
I can see John now, like, depressed in a little corner, sitting with his iPhone, listening to Taylor fucking Swift. John singing to himself, I knew you were trouble when you walked in.
No, this is gonna be worse. Can you imagine, like... Can you imagine John just going along, just singing along, getting really excited to, shake it off? And I'm just like, I can't imagine John doing that. That image alone is keeping me awake right now. And
that's how I finish my supersets in the gym. This is serious.
Oh man,
dude, he shakes it off, man. Give him a break.
All right, we're gonna move this along. I'm taking control.
This is great.
I mean, like, oh man.
Video games. Hey guys, who's excited for the mighty number 9? Who likes Mega Man?
I've never been a big fan.
Okay, well then. Alright, well, Mighty Number 9, by the fine people who made the first Mega Man games and Mega Man X, is coming out September 15th on PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U. And then at a later date, we are PS3, 360, PC, Mac, Linux, Vita, and 3DS.
They got so much funding they can put it on everything.
You know that game's
put it on everything.
You know you're on every platform when you're on fucking Linux. That's pretty crazy.
To be honest though, with the Steam box thing they're trying to pitch, which by the way, I need to actually take a look at SteamOS more because it's been a really long time since I actually took a look at it. Apparently, the free gaming operating system based on Linux. That's gonna be a little interesting.
Yeah, the Steam operating system is very, very interesting.
Because
I'm very curious to see how that turns out. Like, we already see that Steam Workshop, they already shut that down. Like, they got so much backlash on that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the OS. I wonder how their Steam boxes are doing. I wonder how those are selling.
I mean, Valve doesn't really care. They just, care.
Yeah.
Well, if you put in that much effort to specialize on Linux operating system and trying to pitch out Steam OS as the free gaming operating system, I mean, Valve, when they converted their games, their Source Engine games to run on Linux, they came out with some pretty big numbers that says, "Hey guys, we get much better frame rates on Linux," but that was way before DirectX 12 actually happened. So
All right, so Mighty Number 9. Is anybody actually interested in this besides me? Like, it looks really interesting.
It depends how hard it's going to be.
Supposedly they're making it somewhat easier, but
because I heard Mega Man games are not easy, and I kind of don't really want hard games right now.
Understandable. That's the kind of reason I've been at a slower pace with
sometimes I just want
Bloodborne.
to come home and just be a potato and just clap. Okay.
I'm a potato.
Clap, clap, clap.
Oh, good. That still works.
It's one of my favorite lines of all of Portal 2.
All right. So next piece of news: Halo 5 has revealed its cover art. Have you guys gotten to see this?
I have not.
I watched like the first 30 seconds of the video, but they were taking too long.
All right. Well,
it's exactly what we've been talking about, or what we were talking about earlier. So yeah, I've definitely seen it. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks sick.
I'm looking at it now. Oh yeah, that is pretty cool.
Like 2 teams of Spartans, 1 hunting chief trying to do a side objective, whatever it is. He's AWOL. There's this giant Forerunner thing in the background. Like, it looks awesome.
See, my only problem now, when I like see a game like Halo or I see a game like Forza, is I'm just like, why don't they put this shit on PC? It would look so much better on my PC.
They need to sell Xbox Ones.
Yeah, there you go.
I know why. I know why. I'm just speaking from my perspective. Like, I wish it was on PC. I mean, absolutely. Of course, that's why they're doing it.
Like, yeah, if all games came out on PC, there would be no reason to buy a console for the most hardcore gamers. There'd be no reason. None whatsoever. But
well, except cost, obviously.
Like, yeah, but even then, like, the initial cost is more, but then you save so much on games over time.
Assuming you can save on games, because like Steam is great and all, but and then, you know, obviously since they started doing that, other companies have too, but that's like, there's a lot of assumptions there.
Humble Bundle, cdkeys.com, there's a massive list.
I know, I just want
to well, with this Halo... Oh, sorry, go
ahead. Sorry, keep going.
With this Halo 5 cover announcement, they also announced that Halo 5's Guardians limited edition Xbox will be on its way. Yes, there's a limited edition console coming, and it hasn't been revealed yet. Josh Holmes, and he works over at 343. Also, they revealed that the title's launch date was announced last month, and it will have only dedicated servers for multiplayer. Which,
okay.
Thank Christ, this peer-to-peer shit needs to end.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, the internet now, or at least I hope the internet now, is better than it used to be.
Like, I understand why back in the day Halo didn't have dedicated servers. I get it. I understand why. But, you know, it's 2015. You know, like, this dedicated service needs to happen. It really needs to happen for Madden. But, you know, that's never going to happen. Anyway, so the only person who doesn't have an Xbox is Anthony. Anthony, would you buy the limited edition Halo Xbox?
I'm probably more likely to buy the Forza bundle. Because I know that is going to happen. I just know it's going to happen. If they freaking put Halo 5 and Forza 6 in a single bundle, I'm going to be like, okay, fine, here you go. Here's my money. Now give me an Xbox One. Dude,
Microsoft has 3 just huge games this holiday. Halo 5, Tomb Raider, and Forza. That is a super lineup.
And if they're going to work as hard as they did last year to sell an Xbox One and price it really, really well, yeah, I'm probably gonna buy one. Because I don't know if they're gonna put Halo 5 and Forza 6 in the same bundle, but I just know there's gonna be at least a Forza bundle.
There's gonna be there's gonna be a Halo bundle, as this says, and I think that they'll have this thing where like, well, if you buy the Halo bundle, you get Forza cheap, or they'll be like, you know, and they'll probably do 2 bundles like they did. Like, there have been so many Xbox One bundles.
Anything to sell a system.
I actually don't think there's going to be a Forza bundle, though. I think it's going to be Tomb Raider and Halo. That's.
Well, here's the thing, though, is that people are into cars. That's the thing. You can here's the thing about a racing game.
There's never been a Forza bundle, though. Like, they just don't do it for some. No, they've done it once since when the damn thing launched. Like, there's never been a Forza bundle.
They want to sell Xbox Ones. There are lots of car guys out there. Wouldn't it be great if you could sell an Xbox One with a car? Look, here's the thing about car games. Car games catch a lot of attention just because you slap a Lamborghini on the cover and you say this thing can feel like a real Lamborghini, and people will be like, oh crap, you could feel like a real Lamborghini. Well, I'm never going to touch a Lamborghini the rest of my life. Why not? So that's why, like, and considering they're working so hard just to sell an Xbox One, I feel like a Forza bundle would just kind of... The racing game reaches out to the general public.
Yeah.
Halo also reaches out to the general public because it's a pop culture icon in America at this point.
The last Tomb Raider reached out to the general public. It's the best-selling Tomb Raider.
The failure of a Tomb Raider actually sold well.
I couldn't believe that. That, like, now they look like real assholes for putting that statement out. Like, a couple months after Tomb Raider came out, it's a failure for us. Like, a year and a half later, it's the best-selling Tomb Raider and was huge for us. Yeah, that's... And the fact that it's kind of like Microsoft's Uncharted at this point, like, that's so huge for them. And maybe they'll do a bundle for all each. You don't know. Like, that's... I own an Xbox One. I don't have an intention to buy another one. Ray doesn't have one. He just came into the house. Hey, Ray.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, it's the intern, 001.
Yeah, I'll beat him with a nightstick after this podcast.
We don't need to know what you do in your free time with them, Bronson.
Ow.
Yeah, there's a reason why they're saying free the intern.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Hashtag free the intern 2015.
Hey, Ray, come here for a second. If you were getting an Xbox One bundle this holiday and they were Tomb Raider, Halo, and Forza, which one would you get? Don't bother getting the headphones. We're almost done.
Out of all three, I'd probably say Halo, just because I've always loved Halo since back in the day. I was into Tomb Raider, but not enough. And Forza's great, but I get bored of card games really quick somehow.
Oh, I never get tired of Forza. I can play that shit
Depends
forever.
if you're a car guy. It's like, obviously, if you're going to buy a racing game like Forza, you prerequisite sort of could be a car guy, at least.
I like Forza, and I'm not, like, a huge car guy. I enjoy them. But, two more Microsoft stories. Microsoft's just all in the news. But the first Microsoft story, the small one, is Killer Instinct purchases to go towards the tournament prize pool. Any purchase within the next 2 weeks will go towards a pool of up to $100,000 for the Killer Instinct Evo tournament. If they reach $100,000 or more, they will put Shadow Jago into the game as his own playable character with his own unique moveset instead of just being a skin.
So we're holding a character hostage until you buy enough stuff for us to give it to you.
Yep.
Basically.
That's like DLC, but a $100,000 tournament prize pool now.
Yeah, but I feel like most people who are this into Killer Instinct probably already are paying for the season pass. So, yeah. And it's free to play. Like, that's the thing we gotta remember about that game. So, at least they're not being like, yo, $60. Okay, then buy these characters.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Street Fighter. Oh, wait, no, that wasn't them.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat. I like KI, and I'm always for more characters. Cinder is out tomorrow. Or today. Sorry. Alright, so... the last piece of news is Gears of War Remaster may come to Xbox One.
Yeah, Cliffy B.
Yeah,
Cliffy B was like, "Yeah, you have to do it." I mean, it's a no-brainer from a business perspective. You make a shitload of money on it, so why not?
Yep.
Remastered with the same broken online system.
Oh no, they would have to fix that shit.
Yeah.
It was not broken in 3.
Oh,
I will say that.
Gears of War 2 was awful on
that.
Yeah,
Gears 1 and 2 were broken as
like
shit.
Gears, at least Gears 1 from a weapons and design standpoint, yeah, broken, but at least you had like separate private rooms, so you kind of knew what you're walking into. Gears 2, okay, yeah, that was pretty awful, and I can't believe I actually spent like a good 4 months playing that game online every single weekend. Couldn't find you a match, and when they could find you a match, it matched you up pretty unevenly, in addition to a lot of cheap shit that they eventually tried to fix but couldn't fix all the way because, well, you would need a redesign of certain things, which they did in Gears 3. Yay, Gears 3 is good.
A Okay, well, what they have said is Polygon said developer Splash Damage, known for Brink, will handle the Xbox One remaster of Gears. Several job openings at the studio mentioned that it's about to engage in a very well-known and highly popular AAA title with next-gen tech. Black Tusk is reportedly working on a remake of the original for its 10th anniversary as part of this collection. And all the cutscenes are to be remade by an animation studio and be in plastic wax. A report from Phil Spencer said, if this remake in fact is real, we'll hear more about it, as well as the series at E3.
Yeah, it pretty much confirmed that, yes, it's going to be announced at E3.
I saw the Gears logo. Once.
You don't come out and say that, oh, if this is really a thing, we're going to announce it at E3. You don't say that if it's not a real thing.
Yeah, I agree with this.
It makes total sense. I mean, total sense. I mean, you're talking about the second most successful franchise on Xbox 360 behind Halo. Of course they're gonna freaking remaster and sell the shit out of that.
I would be A-okay with a non-broken Gears of War. Yeah, I don't know. I would really like to play those titles co-op on Xbox One with, people.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Because I'm at the point where the 360 is in the other room, and it's kind of like it's the same reason why they have all the Halo games on Xbox One except for Reach. I would pay $30 just for them to port Reach over. So yeah, I don't know. Last piece of news I have is the Xbox One version of Shovel Knight is out soon, and it is coming with an special exclusive character. Those characters are the Battletoads.
Cool.
So Nintendo got nothing, PlayStation got Kratos, Xbox got the Battletoads.
Okay.
It's we don't, there's not really Nintendo's mascot's definitely Mario and Microsoft's is definitely Master Chief. Sony, it makes it really hard, but it really makes me think that it has to be Kratos, because you look at Mortal Kombat and they used Kratos. Kratos was in Little Big Planet. Now Kratos is in this. Kratos is always that character they pull from PlayStation.
I think it's Kratos because I think it would be Nathan Drake, but he's too much of he's just a dude.
Well, Nathan Drake. Well, you think? Well, Nathan Drake can be, can have Kratos power. It's called touching things and watching things go to shit all of the time. He has the ability to just touch a ship and then in about 30 minutes it'll sink, or he climbs a mountain and an avalanche is guaranteed to happen.
Exactly.
In The Last of Us, when you were on that scaffolding on this slanted skyscraper, I was like, this is a game by Naughty Dog. This whole building could go uncharted at any moment right now.
Yeah,
everything
what was it, Uncharted 2, where the
entire
in Uncharted 2 the whole building starts collapsing and shit, and Uncharted 3 you're in the helicopter. It's crazy. It's so true. I would never want to be around Nathan Drake because everything he's involved with just turns awful.
If he touches your car, it's gonna have
fucking blow up on the freeway.
Yeah,
your transmission will explode, tires blow off.
Nah, transmission explosion isn't gonna kill you. You need an engine explosion that clouds your view, and next thing you know, a semi's coming head on, and then Nathan Drake's gonna have to do something to get Nick and him out of the convertible. Something crazy. Or hanging on the cliff and then having to climb the cliff.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I have to do.
Yeah, Nathan Drake, you don't want to hang out with him.
The friend you never want to hang out with.
Yeah. You probably would listen to him over the phone though.
Oh yeah,
for all his witty humor, but you don't want to travel with him.
Definitely not.
It's I'm gonna go swimming, and next thing you know, 15 sharks come after him for some reason.
If you're ever pissed at someone, though, you just link them up and tell them to spend time with Nathan Drake. To see what type of shit his life turns into.
Yeah. And it's okay, because that Nathan Drake's going to survive.
Yeah, he will survive. The other people...
Just not so much the other person.
Yeah.
Good old Sully.
So, we don't have any comments, so that's it, guys.
No comments.
Oh, come on, guys.
Comments.
No. Crap.
Let's change that, guys. Come on, leave some comments. We appreciate the comments. We respond to the comments. It lets us know you guys are listening. All right. So, anything else before we close it out?
You should go on our Facebook, our Twitter, and our Twitch. The Super Senpai Bros are back with The Last of Us.
Yes, Facebook is at The Gamer Access. Twitter is at The Gamer Access. Our Twitch at The Gamer Access. So,
I just joined John on a basketball game recently.
What? What's that? You want to lose at a basketball game? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, Mr. 20 points down.
It was share play. It was. I couldn't see.
See, I freaking isn't that funny? I freaking introduced John and Bremen to share play, and they fucking love it now. Let's talk about that a little bit. We talked about that last week. What do you guys?
I'm going to share play. I'm going to share play the Final Fantasy 15 demo because Bremen's going to let me try it out. I'm just like, why haven't I thought of that?
Why aren't we playing Towerfall on share play?
Is that even possible, or is it only one person?
Yeah, it's possible for everything.
No. Can you have like 4 people share play simultaneously on Towerfall?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow, that's amazing.
Yep.
I thought you could only share play with one person. That's what I thought.
Oh well, I might be wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can only share play with one person. I might be wrong. I don't know, but yeah. So we talked about that last week. So John and Bremen, now that you know this discovery of share play, what do you guys think?
I like it.
Everyone and their mother needs to start using it.
Freaking amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it really
it's
is.
a good way.
Really is.
It's really a good way for like if you have a buddy or somebody you know that you go, hey dude, you gotta try this game, and they tell you, well, I don't have the money to buy it, and you have a PS4, and he has a PS4, you can just say, well, dude, let me just let you try it then. That's awesome.
Right.
It's gonna result in more game sales. Like I haven't got to try it yet.
Oh
it
yeah,
seems cool.
definitely.
Well, here's the thing. It's not going to result in more game sales because no one fucking knows about it. Like, Sony doesn't... Just typical Sony, they don't... Their marketing fucking sucks.
Sony can't promote anything to save their life. Like, that's...
I thought that was Nintendo.
Like,
no, Nintendo's just as bad.
Like, it's an issue when 2 guys on a gaming website don't barely know what share play is. Like, that's fucking awful. Like, it's such an amazing fucking feature that could sell consoles, and Sony doesn't market it.
Look at all this shit. Like, Sony has all these things that they start but never follow through on. Like, it's not a fucking surprise. But whatever.
Yeah, share play, guys. If you have a PlayStation 4, the shit is sick. So check it out.
It is.
Freaking amazing. Yeah, we talked about that a lot last week. So if you want to hear our conversation on that, listen to the last week's 126 of Unscripted Access. Cool. All right, guys. So you know where to follow us. Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, Gamer Access, thegameraccess.com. Thank you guys for listening.
Bye. We love you.
We're out.
See you guys.